second. Oh, there we go. All right, so the first thing I wanted to cover, I know there's not really that many people right now in the this meeting, but I guess we'll have to try to cover it again in like individual chat. I wanted to talk about last week we started talking about having a book study possibly for some of the books that we have in the syllabuses, and we were wondering who in this right now is interested in being a part of the book studies, and then we're all going to vote on when to do the book studies. It's going to either be Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and we'll decide what time. And it's just going to be like a Zoom chat like this, where we each take a turn, maybe reading a chapter and then discussing like what we feel they're saying in the book and anything else we have to add. So I guess if everyone could just like go in the chat and just let me know if you're interested in being part of the book study first. And then we'll see out of those people, we created these polls that on here. Now that we have the pro version, there's polling, and we're allowed to create a poll to have everybody decide like real time vote on a poll. So, all right, Colin, Piper, Brent. Priscilla, of course.
So will this be like for one specific book, or will it be like, you know, for all, like, will it be across all of them? Like, should we just get, like, are we going to decide which book we're going to, you know, do?
I was thinking we would decide like one from the screenwriting thing and then one from the production, like the syllabus.
How about screenwriting?
Because like we have all these suggested books, but we know everyone's not gonna be able to buy 20 books and read them. Not everybody has time for that. So just like one book from each, and then we'll vote on that like in a second. What were you asking, Brian?
I was wondering how about screenwriting for dummies. Kind of
Yeah, that one I haven't read it yet, but I know the dummy books are really good and simplified versions of how to understand things. So I would recommend that one. It wasn't too expensive, and you can, and I think I have a link for it somewhere in the syllabus, and if I don't, I can send you one.
Okay, I was looking on eBay, and they're like, you can get one that with people have written all over it and highlighted it for $10, and a pretty good shape one's like 18 or something like that.
Yeah, that's around the price I paid for it, like 15, I think.
Yeah, I've got filmmaking for dummies too.
Nice. Yeah, I think I have that one as well.
Of course,
I think the ones that we're mainly going to vote on is I have it in the poll, so I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Since honey, your mic's off, but I can hear you in the other room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Miriam is logging in, she said.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start this poll. Can everyone? Oh wait, no. There we go. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sarah has no internet.
Whoever
right
is
now,
interested in being part of the book study, we're going to decide what day works better. Is it going to be Tuesday or Wednesday? And then what time works best for you guys? And the screenwriting books that I thought would probably work best is either Save the Cat, because I've heard great things about that one. Everyone always says that's like the go-to for screenwriting. And the Hollywood Standard, I've heard is like really good for how to structure it and how to format it. So I'm not sure exactly the lessons that are in each book, but I know that both of those are very highly reviewed screenwriting books.
What's the name of the first one?
Save the Cat by Tom Mashansky, I think.
And how about the other one?
The other one is the Hollywood Standard.
The Hollywood Standard.
Mm-hmm. So if everyone could just vote on those, I think there's 2 votes so far.
I feel like Save the Cat, we've heard like, gosh, James has it already and he's talked about it. A few more people have talked about it, so maybe we should start with that one first. That's just my vote.
What, Save the Cat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well right now it's like 2 to 1, so we'll see.
If you had to pick a couple, go ahead and buy those 2.
Yeah, like I already have all of them, so whatever anybody wants to read. And if anybody wants to read something else, I can always maybe just have a one-on-one reading, or me and Priscilla can have a 2-on-1 reading session with you guys if you want.
But if you say those are both most helpful in structure and starting from an elementary level, I mean, that's the ones I'm gonna buy.
If you don't have an
Yeah,
opinion on the
I don't have
books, then
an
you
opinion
can
either.
just,
Like I didn't know what to look for.
choose whichever one sounds more appealing by the name alone, I guess. I
Honey,
think
which,
Save the Cat is like talking about how are you going to save this cat. It's not really like, so it's about screenwriting, but I'm not sure exactly what it goes into.
I feel like, yeah, to be sure. What time of day? Honey, I kind of wanted to vote on the ones that you also voted on just to make your life easier.
You can vote. I haven't voted. I'm not allowed to vote.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
How long do you plan it to be?
The study sessions,
Yes, sir.
I guess that depends really on how many chapters there are in the book and how fast everyone reads. I was thinking maybe like a chapter or two, depending on what book it is. Since we have 2 books, it'll be like a chapter from each, maybe.
I mean, like,
Toyo said, what if I don't have an opinion on the books?
Oh yeah, I already answered that.
Brent said I already started this book. Which one? The Save the Cat? Or the Sad Feld the Screenwriting? Sidefeld.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
we have to vote for one.
Yeah, vote for one or the other. Some of them allow multiple choice, like the time of day, but most only allow one choice.
I
So
mean,
it's
I
like
just-
which one, this or this, that kind of thing.
we choose like Tuesday and then like maybe say 7 p.m. or something, or 8 p.m. So you'll be kind of like flow right into the meeting. I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks about that.
Well, these meetings are only Mondays and Thursdays. The book meetings will be on a different day. So it won't really
okay,
need to flow into it.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Has everyone voted?
Well,
6
wait.
people. I think that's everybody.
Hang on.
So everyone voted? Everyone's good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it looks like more people voted for Wednesday than Tuesday. Is anybody not able to do Wednesday? Like absolutely not?
Depends on the time, but it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
what times are like the ones that people voted for?
Oh,
I
you
mean, I
guys
guess-
can't see this? Oh, I
No.
thought you guys could do. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
So
wait a
there's
minute.
3 votes for Tuesday, 4 votes for Wednesday, and then the times. Most people are saying 9 p.m. Eastern. The books, more people have said Save the Cat than Hollywood Standard, and then the production books, more people have said Digital Filmmaking Handbook.
Sarah says she's coming. Hamza said he can't today, but he'll be there. Be first thing Monday.
So would 9 p.m. Wednesday not work for anybody?
I think I did too. I'll vote for Wednesday too.
Okay. So Wednesday's good with everyone?
I think that should work for me. Yeah.
Okay. I know there's some votes for Tuesday. I just know there's more votes for Wednesday, so I'm just going with the majority here.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna try to, my schedule is kind of crazy, so I don't know. My schedule is day by day from next week. I will have to find out the day before I say yes. So I just voted on a Tuesday.
And also, like, if you're not able to make one of those book study meetings, it's still, you could like read the chapter and then come the next week and be caught up still.
I was gonna say, honey, do you think we should record those as well and send them out? Or
I don't
don't
want to
post
record
them.
those because it's someone else's work and I don't want to host
yeah,
someone else's work being read.
right.
I'm not one to post someone else's works. Like, I just don't think that's right.
What was the production book called again?
It is Digital Filmmaking Handbook. I'll write it in the chat here. So the books are going to be Save the Cat and Screenwriting. And
Digital Filmmaking Handbook.
yeah, I have the 6th edition, so I'm not sure what exactly that's changing as compared to the old
You
edition.
get on the
but-
library, they got a bunch of digital library now. You could get some of these books.
And it's going to be Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
You mean you can buy them digitally and not have paper?
You can rent it. Yeah, like on my I don't know, in New York, right? You can go to the library. They got this thing called Libby. It's an app, and you could download it, and it's pretty much, I don't know each state what they have, but I'm pretty sure they have a library you could go rent books digitally. And because of COVID, you can't really go to the library, so there are a lot of books you could get digitally and rent it. Or I mean, not rent it, but borrow it.
My college also has like ways of getting stuff. Like, I don't know, they have like loan things you can do. And it might be possible that like they can give like, downloadable access and stuff. So I don't know if that's like another option.
Yeah, you do that, Collins, and let us know, please.
I'll try. I don't know if like, again, I actually shouldn't promise anything because sometimes like it's really weird and like it turns out that like it doesn't actually work. Like I'll like submit something and then they'll give me back the wrong copy, but I'll try. Like, I'll make the effort and stuff.
Yeah, let me know. I need to use some people's student access because I got this Wix, and I gotta sign up, every 2 years for them to keep your website current and all that stuff. They'd be like, hey, if you're a student, we'll give you 50% off. I'm like, I'm not a student.
Right.
That's
That's what sucks too, because it's like, oh man, I wish I was.
I know, just to keep my website up is like, I don't want to lose my website. I put so much work into that website already, so for me to lose it, and I don't want to lose it. And I bought the domain already, so.
Is it your website for your bakery thing, or is it the website?
Acting is for my acting website.
Oh,
Portfolio,
cool.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
What is it?
it's Brent Montesir. So I'm gonna put it in the group chat so you can see it spelling.
Yeah, you
out.
can send it through WhatsApp too, Brent, if anyone
Yeah.
knows anyone.
Yeah,
Is it
I
about
think I
teaching
did last
acting
time.
or
BRENTMONTECIER.com. I'm gonna put it in there. You can see it.
Okay, so I think we're good with that. We already got that out of the way. We had this idea to do like a little kind of quiz show kind of thing, where we are going to ask you guys questions, and then whoever knows it can like try to answer. I was hoping there'd be more people, so it'd be a little more variety, but I hope you guys studied this week because we're going to be going over stuff that we looked at this week. It's going to be the script terminology, the structure and format of a screenplay, and the line of authority / like the production jobs on a film set. So if you guys are cool with that, we're going to go ahead and begin. And so
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that.
well, if you don't know the answer, you can just like
Yeah, I'm just gonna
watch
like
and
I
listen.
said, listen and learn.
Yep, that's what we're hoping. So I'm just gonna go ahead and welcome to our first segment of Did You Learn Anything This Week? The segment where we ask questions about filmmaking and you answer. I'm your host, Lakota Cloud. This week's questions will be related to script terminology, format and structure in screenwriting, and line of authority in production. Let's get into it.
I wanted him to
First.
put on the frickin' suit, but he didn't want to. So
No, I don't want to sue. I don't want to be like all like that. It's too hot. in here.
I just wanted a blazer. It was all I was asking for, but he was like, nah.
Rule number 1, to answer a question, first you must say in the chat, me. You must put me in the chat so we can know who is raising their hand first. Do not give the answers in the chat.
Brent already
Just
said,
say me.
Brent already said me.
After I ask the question, say
Cheating,
me.
Brent.
You have to wait till the end of the question and then you can say me. Whoever says me gets to answer first. If they're right, they're either going to get a follow-up question or they're going to get a point. If they're wrong, the question goes to the next person in line. If no one knows the answer We are going to review it with an example. Anyone and everyone can participate, and if someone answered correctly, they can't answer for one round unless no one else knows the answer. We want everyone to be able to get involved, so we're hoping to do that. 1 second, when someone's coming in. All right, so does everybody understand the rules? I'm gonna wait till Tommy gets in so I can kind of explain what we just said. Does everybody understand though?
Yeah, just go ahead and ask a question in the meantime so I can look it up on Google.
Oh yeah, that's what you're gonna do. No cheating.
No, come on, man.
It's not cheating if I told you what I'm gonna do.
If you tell me you're gonna cheat and you cheat, I think it's still cheating.
No, let's just make that a rule. It's not cheating if you tell you. Like if we tell you, that's it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's it. I got it from Google.
Yeah.
Well, while you're looking it up, hopefully someone else says me, and then we can just pick them.
Ah, very true.
You're not gonna be ready.
Not gonna be ready. Tommy's taking forever to get in.
Well, how do you do the have this up and then
Daniel said he'll join in a few minutes. Sarah said she's joining in a few minutes.
Okay. What was that?
how do you have this up and then also be able to look at a website? Or like if a digital book or whatever, split the screen or?
You should be able to just go to the next the tab. I don't think this thing takes up the whole screen. Are you on the website?
No, I'm on the Zoom.
On
Yeah,
the
just minimize your screen and just pull it to the side and then open
Right,
it.
okay, yeah. I
My
see.
computer lets me like put it on like half the screen and then like you move the tab to one side and then it'll go to half the screen and then you can open up the website and put it on the other side and it'll just be like split screen. I don't know if that's
Okay.
like a thing.
That's yeah. Mine's just kind of like a box in the middle of my screen, and I can move it to the side or move it anywhere I want, and then I still see behind it.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, I guess Tommy's taking forever, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start anyway.
Here, Tommy Hill, right?
Tommy Hill, yeah. He's
Yeah.
coming in. He's just connecting, and it's taking forever.
Oh yeah, his mic isn't showing and his camera's turned off. So he's probably connecting the mic.
I'm gonna begin. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Number 1. Who are the heads of a production?
Oh, Taylor already answered like that. Oh my goodness, wow.
Was it Brent? I think Brent.
Yeah.
You sure?
Of course. What do you mean? You sure?
Oh yeah. Dang it. Brent was already ready with his finger on the thing.
So can you repeat the question for 200, please?
Who are the heads of a production?
Okay. Definitely director. Production, assistant production. What?
Taylor, Teo? Oh, sorry, Tayo. Is that Tayo?
Tayo,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. How would you like to go next? Who are the heads of a production?
I would say executive producer.
Ding, ding, ding. It's producers and executive producers. Technically, it's also investors, but those all work.
I don't get partial
Good
credit.
job.
What about
What'd
for
you say?
partial credit? What's going on? I was going down the line.
You can't go down the line.
What?
Question number 2. What
Uh-huh.
does a script supervisor do? Holy crap. Who said me?
Lorena.
Hello.
I think it was Colin.
No, Colin said it after Brent, right?
I think it was Colin. Was it Brent or Colin? You guys hash it out.
Oh no, Brent actually said it. Yeah, Brent said it for me.
Brent, your audio's off.
Thank you, Collins. How dare you guys try to jump me?
Can you guys hear me?
No, we can't hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you, Daniel. We're doing like a little
Sorry,
game show,
Daniel.
so feel free to join in.
So repeat the question,
I
please.
totally
That
forgot the
distracted
meeting
me.
was today.
I think some people thought it was 10 today as well too. I think some people mixed it up like Coda did.
Anyway,
No, I'm just out of it right now. I had a long day yesterday of shooting.
okay, cool. Here I
And
go,
we
Brent.
decided-
What does a script supervisor do?
Supervise the script.
and keeps track of continuity.
Hey,
Got
yeah.
the
Yeah,
continuity.
the way this game works, you can't speak unless you say me in the chat, and then you answer. And if you get it right,
You
you
have
get
to
a
read the
point.
rules again.
If you get it
honey.
wrong, it goes to the next person.
So basically, you supervise the script and check the continuity in the script. Also, make sure everything is, all the bullet points are in order and stuff like that.
I'll accept that answer. Yes, they maintain the
His eye.
continuity of the script.
I think I
Noting
got a
any
0.5
changes
on
made
that.
to any dialogue, actions, or scenes for an accurate and current script to give to both editor and director as the production moves on.
Okay.
Okay, honey.
How early
before the
can we
next
type
question-
me? How early can we type?
You're
the,
supposed to wait until after I
Exactly.
say the question, and then
Guys,
you can
I
type
think,
me.
honey, I think we should do like this. You ask the question and then you say, ready, go. And then the person
Nah,
does it.
nah, that's too much.
I think that
You have
works.
to,
I think
it's like a
that
game
works.
of trying to figure out when the question
Because
will
I
end.
think
That's the whole
everyone
thing.
after me already
Yes.
typed it.
No,
Nah,
I
when
think
you say
that's a good idea. I'll go. All right, are you guys ready? Say me now.
That ain't gonna work because then people gonna be typing in. When you finish your question, what makes it interesting and more challenging is that you gotta wait until the end of the question, then hit.
Yeah, but
leave.
if it looks like you're the only one who's gonna be able to
Because
do
I'm
it.
quick with the typing. Everybody's drinking juice.
And that is disadvantage to the people, the poor people who can't type as fast as you.
Hey, this is the world we live in. It's not a fair world.
All right, we'll try a few more questions that way, but then we're switching it up and doing the me thing where we say wait until I say go.
Sure.
I didn't
Alright.
even know the rules, so
Got to give
And
you a few
plus,
more
if you
chances
get,
to
plus
get it
you're
right.
not
question
supposed to, honey, isn't the rule that the person isn't misses around, even if they get it right, they have to skip around?
Yeah, but
And technically, Brent didn't skip around because he
you didn't get it right. Oh wait, yeah.
Right.
Next
What?
question. Next
I
question.
didn't
You
get
know,
it right.
you got it right.
True.
Oh my goodness. I'm
You
gonna
got the
mute
second
myself.
one right.
I'm thinking
You
about
got
the first
second.
question.
Collins,
Yeah,
you
you got the
see,
second
because
question
I'm black. I know
Oh
it's
my
because
goodness.
I'm black.
right.
Collins, I'm coming out of
yeah,
here.
just
See,
use the race card, bruh.
I'm gonna always use it because I'm black and with dreads. You're gonna tell me I didn't get the answer right?
Quick technical question. How do I get, all I've got is a big picture of Priscilla to get you back, Lakota to get you back in the middle of the screen.
Into the screen. Are we not in your screen?
Oh, I just got a big picture of Priscilla.
Oh yeah, she was the last one speaking. So when it worked with the Zoom, whoever comes in and speak, usually their picture comes up in the screen in the middle, and then it goes back and forth. Depends on who's speaking.
Right. Well, all I'm getting is her. It doesn't.
At the top,
Oh, well,
at the
then,
top right,
There should
There's
be
like a
something up in the
thing-
top corner, like right up
Yeah.
here somewhere, and you just click it, and it says gallery view, and then you can click
Yeah,
that,
you-
and it shows everybody.
Oh, I got
That's
you.
how I usually record it. I usually record it.
wow,
in
that's
gallery
pretty
view so you can
cool.
see everybody. Did you get it?
Oh yeah.
All right,
That's
you guys ready for the next question? What is a slug line, aka scene header?
Okay,
Oh,
Lorena got that one.
Lorena wants to
Lorena,
go.
yes.
Your audio's
Hello?
on. Oh,
Okay.
yep.
The slug line. It contains whether or not the scene would be an exterior or interior. It has the time of day, and sometimes it has like also. I mean, I guess it depends. Like,
And,
Hey, let her finish.
You got it
and
partly
is
right.
that partly right?
Partly right. You skipped
Okay.
over
you're
a
right.
step.
I just Googled it.
Hello,
That's
Lauren.
my answer.
And like the location of like the scene.
Yeah, that's in the middle of
It's
the.
in the
You skipped
middle.
over that.
Oh, did
it's
you
out of
want it to-
order, dang it.
Oh.
Hey,
oh,
Lauren.
We'll give you partial point for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Partial credit. Miriam would
So
like to
Brent
go.
has 1
Miriam.
point, Lorena has half a point. Woo.
Miriam can finish the question if she'd like. What is a
Well,
slug line?
Well, I was gonna say it's basically the gist of the story. What the
The-
story is about.
Oh, the beeping.
So a slug line is used in a screenplay to mark the location and time of scene. It'll be like interior, exterior, and then it'll have location, and then it'll have the time of day.
I
It
think I
looks,
said that.
it's
though.
always in
It was
uppercase.
a-
Yeah,
guys
but
see
you
it?
got it mixed up.
No, the way you
Just
explained it
backwards.
was
Okay.
the way.
Can I
Oh, I
mirror
didn't
my
know I had-
video? Let me see. if I can
Okay.
see it.
Sorry, yeah, maybe I should have made it like in order.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because it
It's
is
okay.
in
Hey,
order.
Lorianne.
so-
How do I mirror
Okay.
myself?
That's what we give you half a point.
Honey, just put it on the little
Can
thingy.
you guys see this, or
A
is it
little,
back?
yep, stay. Yep, there we go.
There you
we
go.
go.
That's what it looks like. It's always in all caps. All right, you guys ready for the next question? What is an intercut?
Whoa, honey, wait. Put
Script.
a little thing in between so we know who said me, because otherwise it's just a bunch of me's.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
What
Because
is
otherwise
an
we can't keep track.
intercut in a script?
Ooh.
Brent.
I don't know. People just taking too long. I don't know the answer.
Does anybody know what is an intercut mean in a script? Okay, an intercut tells the reader that the scene will be going back and forth between different locations without having to put a new scene header or a slug line at the top of each change.
Oh.
An example being interior bedroom day. Emily sits alone on her bed. She reaches for her phone and she calls Jake. Interior, Jake's house day. Jake hears the phone ringing, picks it up and answers. Begin intercut. Jake, hello? Emily. Hey, Jake. And the conversation continues from there. That way we don't have to keep putting interior Jake's house, interior bedroom, interior Jake's house. We just go back and forth. And at the end of it, we say end intercut. That way the director has the option of when they want to go back and forth between Jake and Emily, and they can decide who to show during each one's dialogue.
Oh, so you just put intercut instead of putting it what you was doing before when you was putting the scene. Was it?
Kind of like that.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
kind of like that. Can you see that?
Okay, begin intercut.
Yeah, like begin intercut, and then you'd go down, and then you say end intercut, and that would tell them to stop that particular back and forth.
And the same thing goes for like montages and stuff like that. You have to put like begin montage and then end montage and stuff like that.
So instead of putting interior exterior, you just put intercut and
You put the interior and exterior, you establish that above it so that they know the two locations. And then you put begin intercut so they know to go back between this place and that place.
okay, I see.
Okay, yep. Moving on, let's see. All right.
Could you next time maybe write with color different pens, like like red?
That's what
Oh,
I was
man.
going to do. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, because that black and white kind of hard to see sometimes. I mean, you have a decent
Yes,
handwriting,
Brent.
but I need some
Thank
color in my
you.
life.
You
I
just,
wanted to-
oh man, Priscilla
wanted to
told me
do
to
a-
put it in red ink.
Yeah,
Red
I
and
said,
blue.
nah, black ink's
Red
good.
would be
And now
difficult to see.
you just ruined the whole thing.
A dark red wouldn't. I have like a bajillion colored pens. It would have looked good.
I
You
thought black on white would be better, but
Thank you, Brent. You just
Next
I love-
question. Is everybody ready? Everybody get back. Brent, get back to your keyboard. What does AD mean on a set?
Me,
and Brent texted. Hey,
He
Brent said
texted
me before you
I
finished. Brent said before you
Brent.
finished.
In my
So-
defense, once he started the beginning, it's just like in Jeopardy. Once you hear the first and you already know the answer, why wait till the question is complete?
yeah,
You already
that's
know
what I
the
said.
answer.
Me before.
Because if it's the rule, there's a board game like it. If there's a rule where you can't chime in until the end of the question, you gotta wait. You gotta be
All right.
patient.
Yeah.
Patient but ready.
Okay.
Lorena,
Oh,
would
that's
you like to
Lorena.
go ahead?
Yeah.
What does an
Ooh.
AD mean?
I don't
on
have
set?
access to a keyboard, so I can't.
Oh, assistant director.
Text through your phone.
Yay!
You sure?
There's usually a first AD, second AD. There's also could be like a second AD, and so on. It's an assistant
Yeah.
director.
An AD assistant too. ADA.
Yep.
Wait, so if you type me on this question, like if I type me on this question, I can still type it on the next question because I didn't respond, right?
Right. So Lorena
Yeah.
can't because she got the answer correct. She got another point, and she has to wait out a round, and everyone else gets to go ahead and try. Wait till I
I'm
finish the
editing, so
question.
I don't have access to a keyboard.
Well, you can
Type
type
it
on your phone.
You could already type me in the phone
That's a
and
lot
wait.
of work. By the time I do that, everyone will say me already.
Don't
We'll
worry.
just
I'll
have
put
me
you-
already ready on your phone, typed out. And as soon as he says finishes the question, you press send.
Yeah, when I'm editing, it's kind of hard to do.
Don't worry about it. I'll say me, and then you could go on my turn.
Yeah.
Next question. Is everybody ready?
Before we go, could you just make sure and put a separation? Just put
I
yes.
did. I put BB in the
Okay.
bottom. Yeah.
Why don't you just say question 1, question 2, and instead of
It'll take
BB?
longer. It's better to just put a little like BB.
Yeah, just put like a little letter so they know that that's the, yeah.
Say ABCD.
We could do that. All right. Next question. What is a parenthetical in a script?
Never even heard that term.
Brian.
All right, Brian.
It means if someone's talking and if you want to say like exasperated or, the way they're.
Bling, 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 bling. Yep, you are correct.
Well, that's a half
One of the parentheticals you have is a dialogue parenthetical. It is a verbal or directorial or action direction for the actor who is speaking the part. For instance, if you wanted to say that somebody was saying, I love you, but they were saying it in a sarcastic way, you would have their name, and then you'd have the parenthetical that has sarcastic for how they're going to speak it, and then the dialogue, I love you.
Can you put it up on the screen?
Does
please?
anybody know,
Honey?
Brian, do you know what the other parenthetical is in a script? There's two.
Oh, I got
There's
it.
one other one.
No.
Do you know what it is? Okay, so the other one, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The other one is called a character parenthetical. That one's more commonly used. It says whether the people are speaking off screen, off camera, or anything of that nature. It's in parentheses next to the person's name. An example I gave is Mark. This is the, wait, can you see that? This is the character parenthetical. He's talking into a phone in this scene. This is the, what is it? Dialogue parenthetical. And he is saying, that's how he's saying it, sarcastically.
You should write it on the back of the paper so you can see it too.
What was
Like
that?
back, you should put it on the back side so you can read it too.
No,
Like
you
put it
should-
on both sides so it's easier on
Oh,
you.
yeah, I just have the question on that side, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, honey. So listen, you went really quick to the ding, ding, ding before you let him finish.
Exactly.
And yeah, so I'm going to give 1 point to him and I'm going to deduct a point for you just because you didn't let him
Oh, wow.
And do I get a half a point for moral support?
Yeah, I was considering it, Brent, but then I'd be cheating.
Well, do I
Oh.
still get my point or half? a
No,
point?
you're getting 1 point.
get
You
the
were going
point.
to get half for like only knowing one of them, but since Coda cut you off, you're getting 1 point because that was his mistake.
Can I please get a
That was
half
the
a point
second
for
question.
asking
though.
nicely?
That wasn't the same
please?
question, honey. That was that
That's
was an
not how the
add-on.
points work.
Colin,
Did you
you're
hear
just
me?
getting a half a point for being there.
That's not how
Did
the
you hear
points
me
work.
though?
What?
That was the add-on question to it, which would give him 2 points.
No, I remember when you wrote that question, you said, what are the 2 types of parentheticals? That's the question.
That was the add-on question.
Yeah.
Anyway, next
Oh, yeah, let me
question.
read it. Let me see. Maybe you're right.
What?
Read it. Read it.
No.
What is
let's
a
move on.
parenthetical? And then I had and. Anytime I put and, it was so that I could have an additional
Oh,
add-on
then my
question.
bad. So what do you say? Give him 1 point or half a point?
No,
One.
you cannot
1 point.
retract that. No.
No.
1 point.
All right, 1 point it is. The
And
people have
don't
spoken.
apologize, Priscilla. Don't apologize.
Next question, guys. Is everybody
Don't be
ready?
Canadian.
Is everyone ready for the next question? Wait, let me put a separation. All right. What is O.S. and O.C.
Colin,
in a script?
no.
O.S.
and O.C. in a script?
Colin responded me before you finished. So no, Colin, that doesn't
Brent,
count.
Say it again. O dot.
Hey, you're cheating.
Oh, I'm trying to write it down because I'm.
Okay, all
I
right.
feel like Brent
thought you were
also
typing in.
typed it right as you were finishing it.
O.S.
Everyone
No,
did.
In a
No.
script, you have O.S.
I typed it again after you finished, so maybe that counts.
But in the chat, that's below print.
So it's
All right, let's see if
O
Brent knows.
dot S
Yep. In a script, what would that mean?
on scene.
That
Oh,
was close.
Oh,
Colin, you said it
Colin.
next after
Yes.
him again, so
Off
go ahead.
screen. Is it off screen?
That's right. Bing,
Ding,
bing,
ding,
Yes.
ding.
What is
No,
OC?
partial credit for half a
Wait.
point.
What is OC?
On screen? Oh no. Sorry. That's not my final answer. That's not my final answer. Oh.
3 seconds on the clock. 3,
No.
2, 1. Tell us
Passing
what
it
No,
to
on camera. I said on
That's
camera.
too bad you took too long.
What? I said it. No,
You got half a
it was in the three
point.
ti- I
Half a
started.
point.
No, rule on Jeopardy is if you start speaking within the 3 seconds, you get it. So I started speaking. Come on.
You were
It's
taking
not.
forever.
It's not.
This
You
isn't
said the wrong
Jeopardy.
thing. It doesn't matter.
This
The
isn't
answer
Oh,
was
okay,
wrong.
never mind.
Half a point. All
Half
right,
a
Tyler.
point.
OS and then OC.
OS and OC. Yeah.
Oh, because you
camera.
got the first one
OC is
right.
off camera.
Off
And then you
camera.
got
Bing, 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 bing.
So Tayo
Okay.
gets half a point. as
Here is
well.
the follow-up question for you. Why are they used?
So off screen is used when you're writing a script, and off camera is used when you're in the movies because you don't want them to be like on camera.
Right, but what are they used for within the script? Why do you write them in the script? What would it be? What would it mean?
Because
Technically, both are in the script.
you're directing the character to do something. You're directing the character to I'm trying to think of an example. So like, let's say a character was coming into a room, but then you want the reader to know something that the character was doing. So you didn't exactly put it in the script, but you still want the reader to know.
I kind of get what you're saying, but I'm gonna have to go.
Okay,
That's a
Brent.
half point. That's a point. You got the last part. Okay, so
So 1 point for her, half a point.
they're mostly used interchangeably to demonstrate that a character is not in frame when the dialogue is happening.
Oh,
The dialogue is spoken. It would be like Priscilla right now. If I was in camera, you hear her voice. She's either off screen or off camera. And we also saw some technicalities on it, which is like OS, they say is usually used more. And it tends to mean characters are not in the same space when speaking, which would be like me and Priscilla. Priscilla's in the other room. She's in a different space. She's off screen when you hear her voice if my camera is the camera.
I knew that.
So what's
I knew
off
that.
camera? What's the difference with off camera? Isn't it the same answer?
Off camera, they say, tends to mean characters are in the same place when speaking, but that one of them is not in shot. So it'd be her in the same room, but she's hiding behind the bed for whatever reason. She's off camera.
Some people say that you shouldn't use off camera because it's in another room, and I think it's dumb because honestly, it's more common to have a situation where you're in the same room and the other person is talking than in a completely different room and the person's yelling at you or calling at you.
Like if someone's in the washroom,
I don't know
you're in a
how.
bedroom scene.
What was that?
It's like if someone's in a bedroom scene and then someone's in the bathroom.
Right, and then you can use. Would you use off screen or off
I
camera?
think you use off screen, right? Because one is in the bathroom, even if it is in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what we heard. I'm not sure how adamant they are about that if you're writing a script to somebody, but just try to use. I would just use off screen usually if you're using.
Just because everyone constantly says, "Oh, I just prefer it this way. I prefer off screen than off camera," but we haven't heard.
Part of it is also that off
But it's also
camera is more
reading.
for the director, so that they can choose where the camera's pointed in the room. If they want to show Priscilla hiding behind the bed instead of showing me, then they should have the freedom to do that. So I think that's why they tell you not to use off camera as much.
Actually, you're right, but wrong on that.
Okay, well, what's that?
Because it depends on the region too. because I've worked on American stuff and I work on Canadian stuff, and they both opposite of what you're like. They're both opposite.
Okay, I got you. So one uses the other one uses this one.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah.
that's exactly why we're saying that it seems to be more of a preference than a rule.
Right. I was just saying the technicalities we've heard for America was that, but
Yeah.
like he said, everybody's different. So I don't think it really matters as much as you would think, being
Like-
like in a school or something. Everyone ready for the next
All right,
question?
so Brent and Brian right now are tied at 1 point.
Brent was juggling oranges earlier. All right.
I
Ready
just
for the
use
next
it
question,
for
guys? You ready? What is the difference between the director and the assistant director? Brent.
One is the director and one is the assistant director.
That does not count.
It's a
Lorena?
question within the answer.
Colin, you were the next one to answer.
No, Lorena was.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the director kind of takes care of like the actors and like that kind of stuff. The ADs, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, a thing everywhere, but they're mostly in charge of like the atmospheric actors and scheduling and like safety and stuff like that.
I'll count that. So yeah, that's basically what she said is the director deals more with things related to the story, the look, and the feel of the film. They're more on the creative side. They're working like directly with the actors, having rehearsals, stuff like that. The first assistant director works more with the crew, and if there's a lot of extras on set, they'll work with them. They'll guide them on what they should be doing. Should there be people eating at a table? How should they be interacting? Things like that. So first assistant director works more on the technical side, and director works more on the creative side.
just to pause a little bit, all this stuff that we're talking about, it goes way more in depth in this book over here.
Yes.
Post the name on WhatsApp later, but this has everything in way more detail and way more like
It's more like if you have a large set production, you will know pretty much, if you read that whole thing, you'll know exactly what everyone's supposed to do, who they answer to, and it goes in a very good in-depth analogies of everybody. And
yeah, because right now we're just like simplistically explaining like a simplified version of what everything is, and this goes into way more detail and it explains way better.
Yep. All
This
right,
is
so
more
everybody
just-
ready for the next question? All right, ready? What is V.O. in a script? I forgot to reset this. Who said me first? I think it was
Tayo, because Colin was.
I think Tayo.
No, I
went
did
first.
because I typed it, but it doesn't show.
It was
a different
Collins
time.
first. Collins first.
You sure?
Was it?
Yeah,
No,
because I
because
typed
that
it, but
was
it doesn't show a different time because you didn't.
Because I feel like
Collins
Collins
was the last one from the
I
last
feel
one.
like Collins was.
Hey,
the
look at
one
the time. It's 3 minutes later for the one. I don't know.
No.
Okay, I've done enough.
How that
I
works
follow,
is if you
and then I
haven't
saw
typed
Colin.
anything.
Yeah.
If no one else
Collins-
has typed anything, then no matter what the time is, it won't show a different one. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure. Because I
The
just
reason
typed it.
Teo was still up there because she was the last one.
Honey, why don't we do this again? We're gonna ask
Well,
it again.
no, I literally did it. It's literally you. That's why you've been putting the blocking messages, so this doesn't happen. You know,
Yeah,
I literally did it.
but Coda didn't put the block in this one, so it's kind of his mistake.
No, that's not how it
all right.
works.
No. Time
Are
out.
you okay
Time
with
out.
letting
Listen.
Colin take it?
Time out. If you look at the time, right, at 9:56 to 9:58, those were Teo and Collins. That's when Collins was putting in earlier when he had requested for the answer when Lorraine had answered.
Oh, never mind. Look at this. Collins, it updated to 9:58.
This one, Collins was the first one who just typed in. I was looking at the screen. I was
All
saying
right.
him.
We'll take your word for it.
All right.
Okay.
Collins don't want to have me a point.
Is that okay?
Thank you.
Coda,
Thank
for
you
your
testifying.
mistake, I feel like Tayo should go next in the next question, have priority, because it was your mistake.
Okay,
That's our
I'll
mistake.
ask you. There's a follow up to this, so if
was the
one of you guys wants to answer this, I'll ask the other one the follow up.
Just to be fair, because it was our bad.
All right, go ahead,
Okay.
Colin. What is
The answer.
v.o. in a script?
Wait, what? You say v.o?
Yeah,
V.O.
v.o. in a
That's
script.
voiceover, right?
Bing, bing, bing. All right.
I remember this.
The
Yeah,
splitter.
we talked about it last week. Tayo,
Yeah.
where would you place v.o. in a script?
Maybe during a monologue.
And
Maybe in the beginning.
Kind of, where would you physically place it in your script? Like, what
Oh,
would it be?
you.
hold on, she answered wrong. You gonna answer again?
I get what she's trying to say.
Man,
Hold on. What is going on
man,
here?
Brent
She
is
answered.
harsh.
Brent.
Dang, Brent.
I'm
You guys
competitive.
should put the
This is
splitter
Okay.
right
Yeah,
now.
I see it. Yeah.
Let's never play
Hey,
a
yo,
board
no
game with
offense.
Brent.
Hey, yo,
Wait,
no
Where would
so
you
do I get a
physically-
chance to answer now?
Let me just see, guys. Where would you physically write v.o. in a script?
Do I get? Wait,
Yeah,
my
it's
answer
yours,
or-
Tayo.
Okay, so I would say, like, you would write it after the person's, before the actual dialogue. You would write v.o. before the dialogue. That's my guess.
That's correct, but it's also, to be more
And
specific about it, you put it in parentheses right next to the character name, which would be before the dialogue. I don't know.
Okay, I'm giving her half a point, which makes 1 point.
half a
So as it
point.
currently stands, Brent has
Half
1
a
point.
point. Yo, what is going on in this game right now?
Brent has 1 point. Lorena has half a point. Brian has 1 point. Colin is in the lead with 1.5 points.
Yo,
Sorry.
And Tayo has 1 point. So Colin right now is winning.
What does it
Yeah,
mean?
you guys have questions?
Oh no, I was doing a tally of my points and I thought I had 2.5 points.
you have 2.5 points.
Oh, right. I forgot to add your thingy. Sorry, Lorena. Sorry,
See?
So
sorry.
that's a minus 3 points on your part.
What does
Yes, it
mean?
is. Yes, yes.
What was your,
Oh, Priscilla, by the
So
way,
there-
you're messaging me right now, so the message you sent didn't actually send.
Oh, it's because your face showed up, so it went just to you. Of course.
you have a,
Sorry about that. Wait,
Don't forget the
don't-
hold on,
splitter.
guys. Brian has a question.
wait, don't post anything yet.
Lakota,
Yes?
Yeah.
don't forget the splitter.
There we go. Got it.
Yeah, right.
Who, Brian has a question?
I'm too lazy. I'm too busy to play, so I'm just gonna remind you about the splitter.
What does
All right.
it mean?
No problem. Brian, what was your question?
What does it mean?
VO, it means voiceover.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have an example on the back. I forgot.
Brent's the point that I didn't count, so Brent's
How
got 2.
about EO?
Morgan Freeman, that's your example.
Whenever he's doing a narration, well, that's considered narration, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
narration and voiceover are 2 different
Oh.
things.
Kind of.
Basically, you use a voiceover when they are. My example was saying like Mark. He's saying in a land far, far away. He's beginning the story. So you're seeing a book or something, and it's opening up to the land. Maybe it's not actually.
1 second, and I'm gonna Google it just real quick.
While she's doing that, what does EO stand for?
We didn't have EO. It was V. Like
Oh, there was no. Okay.
What
No,
is
there
it?
was-
Equal
there wasn't.
opportunity?
What's the other word? It's narration, right? Narration.
Are you looking up the differences?
Uh-huh. Okay, a voiceover is a production technique using an off-screen voice that is not part of the narrative, as opposed to an actual character with dialogue. A narration tends to be use of a spoken commentary of an entire story or audience. So if it's a character speaking, it's a voiceover. If it's one of the characters. If it's like this omnipotent presence, then it's a narration, is what I get from it.
Okay, that's interesting to know, actually.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
So technically, maybe the example we, because if it's a character telling a story, then yeah, it's right. Like if he's telling a bedtime story to his daughter.
well, if he was in the actual story,
Yes. If he was like, for
Something is
example,
voiceover.
if it was a
it's
shot
like
of
Shrek.
San
If
Francisco.
Shrek's telling the story, at first it opens that book. Shrek. is a
Yeah,
voiceover.
that's not narration.
And-
That's a voiceover. Good example, honey.
Yeah, that's how it is. And then the narration would be somebody
Morgan Freeman.
describing what's happening.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, yeah.
Okay, wait. Before you do the question, let me do the thing.
What thing?
Yeah,
Shrek is
Lorena,
love,
I
Shrek is
I
love.
love Shrek
How
2.
you know everybody watch Shrek?
Shrek 2 is better
Just
than
don't-
Shrek 1. I will die on a hill for that.
Never watch Shrek is Life, Shrek is Love if you like Shrek.
Yeah,
I've seen
it.
it.
No.
It's weird.
Lorena texted, so that can be
So
our like
it
research.
means like
Yeah.
Shrek reading a book.
What was that?
It means like Shrek reading part of a book.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the opening of the scene in Shrek is him describing what is it? He's describing like
He's reading a storybook.
he's reading a storybook, but you don't see Shrek the character, you just see the book. And when the book opens, he's talking about stuff that's happening. And then you get introduced to the character when you see him on screen.
Tearing off a page of the book and
Wiping
it doesn't show, but he's
down,
obviously
putting it in the
using it to
toilet.
wipe himself. Yes.
It's toilet paper, that book.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
I mean,
so you guys
depends
ready
on
for
the
the next
paper they're
question?
using.
By the way,
honestly.
we're gonna have like a more deep discussion about everything we learned after this. I just thought this would be a fun way to kind of, have
Yeah.
a little game with it.
The speed run.
Well, then I'll start shutting up about it.
No, you're
All
fine.
right, I
You're
feel
fine. If anybody
like-
has any questions, go ahead and ask.
I feel like people are skipping the skip a turn rule.
I don't think we've picked anyone twice in a row that answered.
No, we haven't picked anyone twice, but I've seen people try twice to get it.
Yeah, they can try. Anyway,
Mm.
next question.
Yeah, no one's been.
What does the director of photography do?
Lorena.
Lorena, aka they're also the cinematographer or DP. That's the other name.
That was quick. Wow.
So the DOP or the cinematographer, they do lighting setups, camera direction, and like determining lens sizes and like LUTs and like filters and stuff like that. Yeah, did I already say camera movements?
Yeah, you did. So
Okay, sick.
they are over the camera and light crews, and they are responsible for the artistic and technical decisions related to the image seen. Like she said, lenses, LUTs, that's like the coloring. They're how the lighting's set up. If they want a moody scene, they might have like a turn off this light right here because it's too bright on my face. We don't want that. So put something over there or make a new
They
light.
might add a gel.
Or add a gel, yeah, exactly. And and they're over like they work with the director to set up the blocking, like which is where the actors will be, how the scene will look, and where the cameras will move, and like if it's going to use a dolly track or a jig. Or something.
And they're also in charge of the storyboard too.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it myself, so I know it. I could have got that one.
Indie productions, people wear a lot of hats. I'm sure, Daniel, you've done a lot of that. Like,
Yeah, I have. I teach
you'll be
all
the
my crew
director,
right now.
producer, writer, DP, lighting technician, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the next question?
DP equals you. Wait, Lorena texted, so let me just do the thing again. There we go.
It's either DP, DOP, cinematographer, director of photography. They're all the same thing. And that's what we just explained.
All
Ready
right,
for the next
go.
question, guys.
Ready, go.
What is a match cut in a script? Anybody know?
Brent.
Would you like to know? What is a match cut in a script?
You guys got to step up your game. Lorena's got 3 points. She's going to take this home.
Let's answer this together. I'm gonna take it away, Collins. Go ahead.
What was that? What was that?
Me and Collins gonna answer this together. Go ahead.
No way. I was hoping you would answer first because I wanted to get like an idea to see if like you knew.
You guys are teaming up? Is this what's happening right now?
Sure.
Cheaters!
Actually, if you want, we could try. I mean, like, what if we both answer and like if either of us gets it right, we get a half point each or something. We like
Okay.
collaborate.
You want to do it like that?
Yeah,
All
so
right. If you're willing to share a point.
All right.
Well, as long as like we can talk about it, so there's actually like a reason to do it, you know, like.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. What is a match cut in a script?
Okay, here I'm thinking because the other one was like an intercut, right? And that was with like the other, like, you know, there were show like a scene, like it was to show that there was like a bunch of different scenes that happen like in order or something, or like you have two scenes at once. Is that what it was? I can't remember. No one can say anything, I guess.
I
But
think you're onto it. Like it's like two scenes that they try to match together or something like that, and something like that. Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, maybe. So
Split
I'll
screen?
say like I'll just say something like it's like an indication that says, you know, multiple scenes should play like at a certain time or something.
All right, like me and Colin's talking right now, we can match that scene.
Yeah, something like
All
that.
right, but how
That's the
would you
guess.
match that scene?
Like a split
I'm
screen?
not a professional.
How?
What do you mean how?
No. But it's a type of matching
You're asking
scene.
for a little
So,
too much.
So what do you, what's your answer exactly? Matching.
Okay, wait,
it
what's
as
the
in-
answer? What's our answer?
Our answer and our final answer is matching shots, matching the scene. Me and Colin.
yeah, but how? Because there are multiple ways to match a scene.
What?
Oh, like so it's maybe it's like to play it at the same time, like a split screen type
That's
thing.
what I was,
Like a dual shot in the same scene, or you know, like
Yeah,
Is that your final answer?
yeah, I guess it's the final answer.
Priscilla, you have to be a lot of details.
But there are multiple times. Okay, so let me just read you a few examples. We have cut to, smash to, dissolve to, match cut, intercut. Like these are all scenes being cut together. A film are scenes being cut together.
That's
So
terminology,
technically,
No, it's not technical. Here's the answer. Ready? What is a match cut in a script? It's a
I'll give him half a point.
transition- It's a transition that matches the footage of a previous scene with the scene that's taking place directly after it. We have an example. Example being, some movies use this where you zoom into someone's eye and the next scene starts out being in space in a galaxy. They match that eyeball and the look of the eye to a galaxy, and that's a match cut, a transition, which looks the similar and
I think we're pretty close with our explanation. It might not be that.
yeah. What do you think, honey? Should we give them each half a point?
Yes.
You guys said it was split screen. You
Or
guys
should we
said
give them,
it was gonna be
yeah,
like a split
true.
No,
Should
no,
we give them
that was one of
1/4
our
of a
answers.
point?
Hold
We
on.
had
What-
A quarter
what-
point?
Yes.
We had
I
separate answers. We
A
gave,
1/4 of a point each.
no, Priscilla asked details. Break it
Just
down.
give them half a point each. Whatever.
Okay, I'll be nice. I'll give half a point each.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Brian got a question.
so it's a split screen?
No, it's it's like it's going from one scene into another and trying to match the footage as best you can. Like if you were gonna zoom in to my hair for the end of this scene, and then you're gonna zoom out of Priscilla's hair in the next scene, that's a match cut because you're matching my hair to hers so that it looks the same.
Oh, okay.
Close together.
That's interesting, actually.
An example is exactly in Shrek. You know when the little water droplings, and then when they turn into the mirror in the wedding dress,
They turn into like a mirror or a
Like a
chandelier
chandelier?
in the wedding. So it's just
Yeah.
anything you're trying to match to the last scene. A lot of movies use it. I've seen movies use it where something's moving and they're seeing a lot of. I know one movie. I know this because I was watching a YouTube video on it. They matched a bag of weed into a forest for the next scene. So it's any image that looks really similar from the last scene.
Up.
going
oh,
into
a good
the next-
example would be like you zoom into a flower, and then you zoom out to that same flower on someone's shirt.
And it's a new scene. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I like weed.
Another name for it is a transformation shot.
What was that?
Another name for it is a transformation shot.
A confirmation shot?
No, transformation.
Transformation
Oh,
shot.
okay. Transformation shot, match cut, they're the same thing. Okay, cool.
Okay, so right now as it stands, Brent has 2.5 points. Lorena has 3 points. Ryan has 1 point. Colin has 2 points because it's 1 point plus 2 half points. And Teo
I
has
saw that,
1.5 points.
Isn't it Tayo?
Tayo, sorry. Oh my. Tayo, forgive me. I'm terrible with names.
All right, you
Let
guys
me-
ready for the next question?
Write it as you say it. That's going to help me remember.
Ready? All right. What does a second AC do on a film set? Colin, you answer too quickly. Lorena?
The second AC.
Yes.
Okay, so the second camera assistant is in charge of if it is a I guess like a physical like film production, then they would be loading the camera with film, and they would also be doing working the little slate clapper guy, and oh man, I almost swore. Maybe I won't. How do I put this without swearing? Sorry, I'm just gonna swear because I don't know how to put it in regular words. They're kind of like the camera department's a little bitch, in my opinion. Like they kind of like run around, give everyone tape and like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's correct. It's
No, it's not.
their main duty is to slate and use the clapperboard, keeping track of the scenes and takes. And they also do what she said, where
They get people coffee. They help people with their stuff.
production assistants kind of take the place of that. If the second AC needs to do something, production assistants will take the place of whatever is needed. So it depends on how many production assistants the production has. But the second AC could be used as a production assistant in some.
Yeah, we read through this extensively because we were like,
that's
I
the
even
slate.
told
Ryan just held it
Coda.
up. Can you hold it up again? There's the slate.
Cool.
I'm protesting.
I even told
that-
Coda because
that
when we were
answer-
studying what it was, I was
answer-
like, honey, it's very broad. We should probably explain it a little better. People are gonna say that, oh, but no, there's more. And he was like, yeah, but it's just a broad explanation, a basic explanation. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they do.
They're mostly what I'm known for them is like they're for focusing the camera. They're basically they don't work for the other people. They only touch camera gear.
Right, and they
That's
stock
what-
the camera magazines and stuff like that. And
Yeah, and bring extra batteries.
Yeah.
Bring
What is the name again, honey? Let me look it up here in the book.
Second AC.
AC. That's why
Second assistant camera.
I'm not
Where-
saying Marina S is wrong because everybody use they assistants for different things. Sometimes on set they might have them do that, but in actuality, that's not their job. Their job is to hold the clipboard, load the magazines for the crew, and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which is why the main thing that we put in the answer was how Clap works the clapperboard and helps with the film reels and stuff.
Yes, that's the answer. But they also do that too. What Lorraine was saying, they also could go get coffee and stuff like that. You know, if they don't need them right now, they don't need to restock. So I've been on set before where they do use people to do these kind of things. So she's not really wrong, but she's not getting no point for it though.
That's the
Okay.
answer. Yeah, we're talking about like larger productions where you'd have everyone in their specific role. That's what they would be doing.
Let me
is
get my lawyer Collins. Collins, do you agree?
Honey, help me out here.
Brett,
Get the
nah,
book.
nah, come
No,
on.
I
Take the
I
book.
tried too
agree
hard.
with Brett.
This is
This
a prep.
feels
I'm gonna
like-
give Coda the book.
Like
Honey,
there's like a movie analogy for this. I can't remember it, but
I agree
like
with Brett.
calling someone else to the
I'm gonna
stand.
get a book because it doesn't matter what we say.
To get half a point.
Can we
She
vote?
said the whole answer though,
Honey.
you guys.
Oh,
She-
yeah.
if she adds, hold on.
Take the book. Take the book.
Check the recording because she did not answer the way you guys said it. She did not.
She talked about how they slate and they have like the tape and stuff and they help out the camera
They
crew.
go get coffee. That's not
I didn't mention coffee. I just said like camera equipment, like tape and.
Yeah, I said
stuff like
coffee.
that.
You said go.
Did say coffee,
You
I
said
said coffee.
but
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you
Let
know
him
what I mean?
listen,
Dang.
Okay, let's look at a
This is
professional
rough.
book from an actual.
listen. If any of you guys say the answer and you add details that aren't in the answer, I'll still count the answer.
What? No.
What do you mean?
How are you guys supposed to guess the
We get
exact
to vote like
we
half
put.
a
I
point.
think,
You
I
didn't
think
say
if
the
anything,
answer
he
exactly.
deserves half a
Yeah.
point on that.
That-
No,
Yeah, you guys got half a point in the last one when you clearly got it wrong.
You guys barely gave us a point. We had to beg for that.
Okay, I'm being
All right,
included in
read.
this argument, and I'm
Okay,
not
let's
making
do
any
this. Let's
arguments
do
right
this,
now.
honey. Honey, read the description on the thing, and
I-
we'll see if it's truly
honey, that's
accurate.
gonna
That
take
is a
I've
forever.
question.
been an assistant camera on set.
Just read it. Because if it's wrong, and we'll give half a point. If it's exactly what the book is saying, then we'll how it works. Fair is fair.
I know when you're giving an answer, you give an answer. When you go and start explaining all these other details, it's to, you know,
You guys were
Like-
explaining a bajillion details in the last one. Just
You know
saying. Fair is fair.
So basically, you don't want to be an AC.
I would like to tell you guys that I wanted this to be a collaborative effort, not having everyone fight over points and dividing this group.
because
Here
I
is here is the description.
I
of
would
the-
like to clarify that I'm not fighting over points right now. I don't care because
I'm not fighting over
Oh
points.
my
I'm
gosh,
just saying-
Colin is that dude. Colin is that dude that's like, I don't really care, you know, I'm chill, but
No,
you
we
know.
don't care
oh
about
yes, totally.
Oh, here we go. Ready?
yes.
Here is the main thing. The second assistant camera operator or second AC, aka Slater, clapper person, is the fourth camera person. They're directly responsible to the first assistant camera operator and are responsible for seeing that a sufficient number of film magazines are loaded and ready, like she said, before helping the first assistant set up and check out camera equipment. Thereafter, slating, ensuring proper visual and audio information of each take. Down in number N of their duties is getting refreshments or tools, taking or making needed phone calls for the director of photography, camera operator, and or first assistant when the persons holding these classifications are too involved to do this themselves.
But
So
didn't you-
basically, he is
Exactly,
the
spot
bitch.
on answer.
but you
Your
didn't say
response.
fourth.
That's not
But
in the
you
book.
didn't say fourth assistant camera. You said assistant camera.
Same thing. It's is also
No.
known as the
I
fourth
said second assistant camera. AC.
Yeah, but then you
Yeah.
said fourth just now.
It said fourth. Yeah, it's not the same.
So you
No,
want
He
cream?
is also known as the
They're
fourth
in the
assistant.
layer, guys. That's what it means.
Yeah.
You got the
Is also
director of
known-
photography up top, and then
Yeah.
it's like
Second AC.
camera operator, and then it's first assistant camera, and then below that, the fourth position is second assistant camera. It's a
But you just described fourth assistant camera, which
Second
they're
assistant
no,
camera is
they're-
also known as fourth
They
assistant
are the
camera.
fourth camera person.
okay.
Yeah.
In
They're
the
not
hierarchy of camera, it's director of photography, camera operator, first assistant camera, second assistant camera.
So they're the fourth camera person.
Okay. All right, you guys ready for the next question?
No, give her a point.
Did you give her a point?
Yep, I gave her a point. I'm just scared right now.
You want cream or sugar with your coffee?
I'm just scared
She
right
already
now.
got creamer right there. She got to go to all that cream.
You know that
Ready,
you know
guys?
that Cards Against Humanity we were gonna play as a group? Let's not invite Brent because I'm scared.
I think we really should. It would be
He'll
fun.
say, "How is that? How is that the best choice?"
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. All right, you guys ready? When do you capitalize a character's name in the action of a script?
Oh, Colin?
Colin?
Yeah.
Always.
I like what Brent said. That it's good. But so basically, you capitalize the character's name. Do you mean like capitalize fully, like full capitalization?
All their whole name
Yeah.
capitalized.
So okay, then that happens the first time they appear. Generally, that's like the thing. Yeah.
And they are first introduced.
Emphasize on the character when they're about to do something.
So basically, it'd be something like this. The interior, you got a church and day. John, male, 20s. I can't read it because it's backwards for me, but you guys get the gist.
Yeah, walks in the door.
Yep.
Walks in the door.
All
Wait,
right. You guys
wait,
ready for the
honey.
next question?
Wait,
Walks
honey, let me do
in
the
door butt
thingy.
naked.
Can you give Colin his point, please? Thank you.
Yes, I'm putting it on now, but let me do the thingy.
Just announce how much points he has.
So it's when they enter
All
the,
right, so let me reread the point system right now.
Hold on.
The way
Hold
it
on.
stands.
Brian, what was your question?
So it's when they enter the scene?
So it's when they're first introduced in the script, you'll have their name all in caps when you're talking
Right.
about like the action. The action would be anything they're doing or anything that's happening in a scene. Like he's walking into the church right now. And this
John
is the
walks
first
in the
time,
church butt naked.
if this was the first time I introduced him, I'm going to put him all in caps. But the next time I talk about him in the action, he's going to be just a capital J and lowercase the rest.
Oh, okay.
The first time they're in the script.
Yeah, first time they're introduced, they're capitalized. And that's not meaning the once you introduce that's not meaning when you're doing their character name before their dialogue. That's always capitalized. It's only meaning when you're talking about the action in the scene. They're all capitalized the first time they're introduced in the action.
Like when you're writing the description of the scene.
Of like, you know, he walks back and forth, he's fiddling with his fingers, whatever you're saying, you would
Describing
put
the
him in
character
lowercase from then on.
when you start describing the character in the beginning.
In the beginning, you always, if it hasn't been introduced in the script, in the action, put them all caps.
Okay.
And in the header, like next in the name, like when it's a line, you put in all caps as well, right?
In
Yeah.
No?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Header?
When like before their line, the name. Oh, this person's speaking.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the
then-
character. That's
Yeah.
the character. The just
So you
character.
put the character in only his first initial in capitalized and then the rest in common, right? Or you put everything full capitalized as well.
Full capitalized, all letters for the first time they're introduced in the action.
And then the scene, same thing.
If you're talking about like before they talk, you'll always have them in capital letters.
Okay.
Like before they
Anytime you show
talk, but
a name,
everything
it's
else is
always gonna be
lowercase.
capital letters before they talk, so you know which character's speaking. But in the action, when you're describing what that character's doing or where they are in the scene, you will have them capitalized,
First letter.
their whole name capitalized the first time you talk about them, and the second time, third time, and so on, you'll have just the first initial capitalized.
Did you get it, Brent, or do you want me to explain it again? 'Cause-
Yeah, because you confused me right there, Lakota. So
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning of the scene, when you're describing the character, you put their name in full capitalized letters, right? And then after that, like what Priscilla was saying, like when you start having a dialogue between the actors, you still put their full name in capitalized before they start talking, before the
Only
dialogue.
before. Yeah, let me try to explain it, honey. Maybe I can try a little better.
Okay.
So the only times where you put their names in capital is the first time they're being introduced, all caps, or before their character dialogue. For example, like Brent, ... and your line. That's all caps. But when there's the description, like Brent goes to the bathroom, it's in lowercase again, because you've already been introduced.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, thank you. Much better.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so reading the point system again. Brent has 2.5 points. Lorena has 3 points. Brian 1. Colin 3 points. Him and Lorena are tied. And Tayo has 1.5 points.
Teo.
Tayo, wait,
it's
is it
Tayo.
Tayo? Or
It's
Tayo?
Tayo.
Okay, so
Let her
Tayo.
Tayo. Yeah, I got it right this time, and you guys are making me second guess myself.
all right, my bad, Tayo.
No problem.
You guys ready for the next question?
Lorena says that she might have 4.5 points.
Are
Sorry
you
if I killed your name.
are you sure about that?
I
'Cause
No,
have a
you
tally.
You got 3.5 points.
What?
Oh, did she get half a point on something?
I did.
Oh,
This is an early one.
right. Sorry, honey. I must be.
It's
I must
okay.
No, it's okay. I'm keeping track. Don't worry.
3.5. Okay. But
What?
I'm just. I can't trust her for sure. Because what if she's cheating? No, I'm kidding. You would never
What?
cheat, honey. I
I would
trust her.
never cheat.
Oh, how
I would
you
cheat.
just
I would
broke
cheat,
Rod
but-
there,
It's
calling out
just.
people out
It's
cheating.
just, honey. You have one of those faces that are so cute and innocent. You're so easy to. Oh, I'm trustworthy. You never know. Those are the
Black cat.
days.
Where's
I
the-
have
where's the kitty
I have
cat?
a tally.
You and your black cat. You guys cheat.
What do you mean?
I've given 3.5 and I'm sticking with it. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Because everyone else I'm counting perfully fine. How come yours is the only one I'm getting wrong?
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
Probably because there's such fighting whenever she answers.
Yeah, Brett's
Oh, true.
Is it because I'm No, I'm not gonna play that card.
Bryn
Oh
already
my
played that
gosh.
card earlier.
Yes,
Oh my gosh, were you gonna
It's
play the next
okay.
card?
it's okay.
Happens all the time.
Marijuana deska.
I think you and me cannot play that card for real.
You guys ready?
Okay, I won't.
Ready for the
Okay.
next question, guys?
Colin don't mind. Colin know he's white. He don't mind.
I'm white too.
Yeah, but me
No,
and
you're
Lorena
not.
I'm
are
white,
like
somewhat.
barely, we're white
green.
passing. So
You're
we
Brazilian,
don't count.
Dakota.
We don't count. I'm Latina.
No,
she's-
Priscilla's Brazilian. I'm not.
Yeah,
You
I was
can
gonna-
see me,
I was
can
gonna
say I'm
play-
green.
Oh, I married
I
her, so
was-
now I am too. Okay.
Okay. Well, I was gonna play that. It's because I'm a woman card.
Oh,
The industry's always
that is
shooting
the card
down
you
the
should play.
women.
Yeah, you bring the Me Too into this conversation.
No, I tell
Okay,
Code
well,
about this all the
I didn't.
time.
I don't mean it. I don't mean it. It's all
Yes,
good. It's all
you do.
good.
You
Peace
mean
and love.
green,
so-
Sometimes I joke with Coda that if he ever messes with me, I'll play the disability card, I'll play the woman card, I'll play the Latina card, I'll play all the cards.
I didn't think about that disability one. That's a good one.
Yeah, yep. Because I'm blind and I got a bad arm, so I got two of them.
So you're armed.
No, one of the arms. Like I dislocated it when I was a kid, and the doctor never fixed it.
Yeah,
properly,
you're
so-
armed. It's only one going out one arm there. You're armed.
Okay.
You're armed for battle.
Yep.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
ready
it's
for the next
Better with
question?
that joke, Daniel. That was kind of like real slow in that punchline there, buddy.
Yeah, it took a
I'm
while. so-
tired. I was out all day yesterday filming.
You guys ready for the
You
next
got an
question?
excuse.
How many questions are left, Johnny?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
5 is good.
7. 7
Okay,
questions.
7 left. All right, ready, guys? We're
Is
almost
this
done.
This is not going to cut out, is it? Or
No.
we got the. It's already an hour and a half in. We're good.
oh, okay. Remember, I
Yeah.
only just joined kind of late.
And after
Yeah,
this,
good.
we're
Well,
gonna
yeah, we
have
got
a
the pro
debate.
now, so we don't have to worry about time limit.
Yeah, and after this, we're gonna have a discussion about the things we learned about script and things we learned this week and the points we thought were really important. Like this is just to get us going, like to have a little bit of fun while we learn, and then we're gonna get into the nitty gritty in a few minutes, like after we finish.
Interesting.
And then afterwards, we're gonna finish our conversation about like our favorite movies and shows and stuff that we didn't finish last time.
You guys ready? You guys ready? What is a gaffer on a production?
Brian? Brent?
No,
I think-
Colin first.
Oh,
Colin.
Lorena was first.
Colin.
Brenner.
Wait, did Lorena answer the last question though?
Oh,
Yes,
right, she
Lorena,
did. So
cover that.
sorry, Lorena.
Lorena.
Colin, it is.
Loretta hit me before you finished the complete sentence.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Either
so the
way, she
gaffer.
can't because
Oh,
she
Yeah,
got
go
the
ahead.
last one right, so she has to skip a point.
Yep. All right, you
Okay,
can go ahead, Colin.
so the gaffer, like, decides where, like, how the lighting should be and like directs people to do stuff for lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're the chief lighting technician. They work with the director of photography and lighting crew, setting up the lights as efficiently as possible.
I'll give him half a point for that, Collins. That was not a very good answer.
I think you did a good job.
I agree.
Come on.
No, because Lakota actually answered it very well. Collins get a half-ass answer. I'm
Lakota
sorry.
got the
Okay,
I have
well,
it written down.
I mean, did I?
I wrote it in
was
my own
gonna
words,
ask,
but I
did I
already had
say
the
it
answer before.
accurately? Like, what did I said? Like, how are we judging this? Are we judging this on like accuracy of answer or how close, like, we say it to how Lakota says it? Like,
No, accuracy of answer. The way he said it is like there are multiple ways to say it. It's
What was the
What?
answer?
No, I'm
But
going
you
with
didn't mention it works with the basically director of photography. So
I mean, I guess I didn't say it works with the director of cinematography, but that wasn't
that should have
the
been
question.
that should have been
Like,
said.
but he talked about his job, not who he works
yeah,
with.
but Collins, all you had to say was chief lighting, and that would have been an answer right there.
Chief lighting?
Yeah,
I
the,
mean, I
the
said, like,
gaffer,
they direct
Brian, the
people to-
gaffer
okay,
is
whatever.
the chief lighting technician on set.
That's it.
They work with the director of photography and the lighting crew to set up the lights as efficiently and quickly as possible to get to the next scene.
Okay,
Right.
so he got the job right. He missed the part where he talks about who he works with. So what are we doing? We giving him 1 point or half a point?
I'll go a half a point. I motion to half a point.
I agree.
Motion
work-
approved.
I feel like you guys are biased, And
I'm
you,
not even playing. I'm just trying to help
You know
out.
what? It's okay. It's fine.
Colin's my boy. I'm
Colin,
not.
you already in the lead. You're fine. Oh
guys
wait,
are
no, you're not.
ridiculous.
Lorena's in the
Way
lead.
more
Yeah,
seriously
it's
than I
no, it's
thought.
okay.
I didn't
No,
think you guys were
Colin's
taking
my
this
boy,
seriously.
man. I like Colin. That's why I'm giving him half a point.
Oh,
You guys ready for the next one?
Wait, honey, what do I give him? 1 point or half? I don't know.
Why are you asking, honey? We made a
I
decision.
feel like I give him 1 point.
Listen, you
They
cannot
voted
the
for
dude
half
did
a
a good
point.
job.
They voted for
Dude
half
did
a
a good
point.
job.
They
Half?
voted for half.
majority rule.
Okay, okay.
Got
I tried to save you, Colin. I was here. I defended
Hey,
you.
I'm just the
Priscilla.
audience trying to agree. With the,
Priscilla, it doesn't
I
matter.
don't want
what
to like. The
say.
problem is I don't want to
Majority
create too much opposition because like
I
I
fought
don't
for
think
you,
there
man.
needs to be opposition. You know, so it's like.
Oh, come on. Now
Yeah.
you're just full of it. Now shush.
Now you-
now you there's nothing.
Now
You
you're
just
just
there's
like,
no
oh,
point
Okay,
in
fine.
saying that.
Wait,
every
fine. Then
when you
I'll
get
fight.
him
I'll
out.
fight. I'll say it. I answered the question right. Okay, I answered the question right. I want 1 point. There we go. I'm fighting my case. Okay.
Colin knows I'm just busting his balls, man.
You guys ready?
Okay, him and
okay.
Lorena are still tied.
All right, Colin has to skip next round. Ready?
Yeah.
What is room tone and what is it used for?
Ah,
Lorena got it. Dang.
All right, Lorena, your
Lorena.
audio's off.
Well, now I'm like scared because like I feel like do I have to like have like psychic powers to read like word for word what's on your on your like thing? I don't want people to be like, oh my gosh, she's wrong.
Just think, how would Coda say
Just
something?
general,
Question for
just
Okay.
general
Oh my gosh,
gist of what it is.
Try
I've
and
also got,
enter
like,
his
my
mindset.
caffeine
Try and
jitters.
emulate his speech patterns. You know that
No, if
that
you-
always works. That's what
If you get it right, it doesn't matter if it's like exactly like how he wrote it. If you explain
Okay.
the job, you're good.
It's not a
feel
job,
like-
but what is room tone?
Right, the thing. I don't know. The thing.
Room
I'm
tone
tired too.
is recorded audio of basically just like a standstill like room or studio, and like it's just almost like white noise from like the set or wherever you're filming, and it's used for like filling in gaps or like having that over like dialogue, so it doesn't so like cuts in between stuff aren't so like jagged, I guess, like, so there's a little bit of like it's almost like
Give an
filler.
example if you can't explain it, because sometimes it is hard to
Okay.
explain.
Make the sound. Make the sound. That is room tone.
Okay, here we go. Here, room tone.
You guys are helping me a point, man. No.
Bing, bing, bing. I'm just gonna say it's right. Here's what it
no,
is.
that
guys.
is right.
Room tone.
Collins, how dare you?
Sometimes it is hard
Well,
to
she
explain
said
what something
she
is.
literally said like it's the thing they use, right? Like she implied that it was a sound. Okay, I was just using what she said.
I said it's a recorded
Yeah.
audio.
No, it's
Yeah,
a,
so, like I mean, I wasn't giving her anything.
She's-
Audio,
From the
man.
beginning,
This
she
is
got it
going on.
right.
he was
From the
What's
correct.
going on? That's when I was like,
Bing,
"All right,
bing.
about to lose it. About to lose it." But then you should have just ended when you said the first part, recording a scene where it's like
Okay.
a white noise.
So do I get half a point now?
No, you
Yeah,
get
you
a
get a whole
point.
point.
I'm like, yo, they
You get a
come
whole
Whole
point.
do an example.
All right, Coda,
Make
I
it
feel
is.
like
Do an
now.
example.
I'm gonna say room tone is the sound of the room while everything else is silent. It's the white noise that you add. Like she said, there's sound recorders use room tone so that they can lay it over all the clips they edit so that the background sound is consistent throughout. There's no jagged noises. There's no like that. It's always going to be the same because even though you can't hear it when you're editing, the room sounds different if I'm recording from here compared to if I'm recording over there. But we
Is
can't-
someone eating? If so, can you turn off your mic?
All right. You guys ready for the next one?
Honey, I think that the next ones you should do like we said. 1, 2, 3, go. Because just to try it out. Because these are the last questions.
All right.
Wait, let me do the thingy. Let me do the thingy. All right, go.
So this time, guys, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and say me. And then you guys have to say me. All right?
Is this a free for all or is it same rules apply?
Same rules apply.
Okay. Bye guys.
Honey, just like go. Say me takes forever.
What is a pre-lap in a script? 1, 2, 3, go.
Pre-lap.
A pre-lap.
Pre-lap.
Yep.
No one's clicking.
Knows?
That's what happens before the race starts.
Good guess. But
No one
What
knows?
race? There's no
Alright.
race to answer here.
A pre-lap is dialogue or sound effects that are from the next scene, but they start before we cut away from the previous scene. It's a transitional sound effect, like if you hear a car driving before they cut to the car and you're still showing the city landscape, that would be a pre-lap into the car scene.
Okay.
Yes. The sound effect of the car is the pre-lap. You disagree, Daniel? There's something.
No, I said okay because I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. That's
Oh, okay.
interesting.
I thought you said no, it wasn't.
No.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so it's just any sound you hear that hasn't. Sometimes movies will start out in black. You'll hear some people screaming at each other, and then that's a pre-lap because once you start seeing the scene of them,
Samad asked, just like a J cut?
what?
Just like a J cut in editing? Samad asked.
I'm not really sure what a J cut is. So I can't answer that. But maybe. You want to look it up or not?
That's what I'm doing right
We'll
now.
look it up later after we're done. Okay, so
J-cut is a variant of a split-edited film editing technique in which the audio from a following scene overlaps the picture from a preceding scene. So the audio portion of the later scene starts playing before its picture and leads into a visual cut. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, that's the same thing. That's just the editing version of it, pretty much. This is for the a pre-lap is what you'd use. You'd write it in a script if you know you want to do that. And the J cut is just what the editor would do. So, okay, this is the same thing.
I like car sound before car. That makes it easy to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done, right? Like 4 more questions, 3 more questions, something like that.
Yeah, we have
Thank you, Saad.
4 more questions.
All right.
What is a clapperboard or a slate used for?
Lorena said me first. Oh, wait.
I thought you were doing 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'll do it again.
Change
All right.
something when it's not broken.
Let me do it again.
Let me
Wait.
start over.
Oh my gosh.
Wait till I
no.
say, what is a
Wait. I gotta go to everyone. I accidentally went to just to Colin. Give me a minute. There we go. Go.
What is a clapperboard or a slate used for? 1, 2, 3, go.
A bunch of people said before he said go, Colin waited till he said go, so I'm taking Colin.
Yeah, we're sorry, Brent. I think you were away when we said it. We're gonna start doing 1, 2, 3 like we said earlier.
No, I was listening to everything you guys were saying.
Okay, then you just.
It was Brian that
No, they
Brian
didn't
and
let me-
Lorena.
Wait, what are we?
What?
Whose turn
Your
is
turn.
it?
It's your turn, Colin.
Okay. A clapperboard is like this thing. I don't know. It's the thing that closes and it signals the beginning of a take.
Jordan,
Yes.
there you go. Brian has an example.
Yep, there's Brian has it right there.
Good job, Collins.
Bing, bing, bing. And in editing, it's used so that you can sync the audio with the video to help keep track of the takes. You have that sound like that so that you can sync it up to where I clap my hand. You can add you can start the audio.
So what is it used for?
It's the clapperboard is used at it's used to keep track of the takes, like take 1, take 2.
Right.
And 2, in editing, it's used.
It's a lightsaber.
match sound to the video, the audio to the video. It's to sync it up because they're going to be separate files. The sound recorder is going to have their sound files,
And also, there's one more use for it.
Visual.
One editing, basically people that's keeping track of the slate, it's easier to connect so you know, like what take is the best take out of all. You write down which take, like the script supervisor or whoever writes it down so you know the best take, so you don't have to go through all of them.
Yep.
So it's like take 1 is the best, or take 80 is the best.
Right, and if you have a multi-camera setup, they do like an A and a B so that you know which camera's being used for these scenes.
Yeah.
They'll do like take 1A, take 1B. All right. Did you give him a
It's a
point, Annie?
lightsaber. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Yep, I give him a point.
All right. Next question. What is the difference between special effects and visual effects? 1, 2, 3, go.
Turkey.
What? Why are you waving?
Because I know if no one else does. So like, I'm saying like, because that's the rule, right? Like if no one else gets it right.
Tayo said
I
me
added
first.
me, so we'll see. If she did it, then yeah, it will be you. Tayo?
Okay, so I'm gonna say like, I guess visual effects is gonna be like, no, special effects is like CGI and stuff. Right?
Colin, you want to take it?
Yeah, so special effects are the things that like physically happen on a set or whatever to like, you know, show like, to like evoke something, like to create like an effect on a screen. Like they'll like, I remember you said like setting up C4 on a set to, you know, create an explosion, and that's like, you know, part of the production or whatever. And then visual effects are like just things added after to like simulate an explosion. So like if they added like effects that like looked like an explosion but didn't actually put C4 anywhere. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. Special effects are applied during a production. It'll be people setting up explosions. They might make little patches of blood that explode off the person's shirt to look like they were shot. Visual
a blood pack.
effects. What was that?
You mean a blood pack?
Yep, that's what I mean. And a visual effects are post-production effects that are added by a computer, like CGI or the look of the blood spraying out. That would be added in CGI. Or I mean, that would be added in visual effects after the fact.
Special effects, and what's the second one?
The special effects is the first one. Visual effects is the second one.
Okay.
Someone banging.
What the heck is that?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. You guys ready for the next one? There's 2 more questions. Here's the first one. How often should you use cut to or any other transition in your script? 1, 2, 3, go. You need me to repeat this, wait, Samad, what? You need me to repeat this question or the last one? Samad? This one. Okay. How often should you use cut to or other transitions in your script? All right, Tayo.
Okay. I mean, as often as you want to. Like, if you're the director, you're the one who knows what direction you want your movie to go in.
That's not really correct. It's gonna be because you're gonna be the screenwriter writing the script. Sometimes a director might write the script as well, but if you have somebody else writing it, this is the question for how often should they put cut to in their script?
Gotcha. Once.
Close. Colin.
okay, I'm just gonna, this is a guess, but like I'm just gonna try it. So once per page?
No, so the answer is, it's a little tricky, but the answer is you want to, it was like in a lot of the videos they kept saying this, so we thought we'd make a point to make a question out of it. And they kept saying, use it as sparingly as possible. When you use a scene heading, they already know that it's going to be a new cut. So in your script, you don't want to fill it out with so many transitions unless you feel like it's needed. A cut to should be used if it's something that adds to the story, or it's kind of important, or it kind of happens in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden it's a cut. Otherwise, you want to try to just leave it out because the director will know, oh, it's a new scene. There's a scene heading. Last.
So it denotes a new scene.
What was that?
So it denotes a new scene. Cut.
Yeah, cut to would be like cut to the next scene.
But because you're already putting like the place, the date, the location, all that, the time of day, you don't really need to do that all the time.
Right. Since you're already doing interior, house, day, you don't really need to put cut to as many as like you don't really need to put cut to unless you feel like it's important to the story.
Samad asked, we can also add it when we want to cut into some kind of flashback, right? Question mark.
Right.
What
You would say like cut to, like you're saying, you would say cut to, and then you would say something like begin flashback sequence, and then you would put the interior or exterior, where it is, and you'd also put the time it is. Like, is it 3 years ago? Is it 10 years ago? You'd put that in your slug line or scene header.
But like we were talking before, there are multiple types of transitions. You can cut to, you can smash to, you can dissolve to, match cut, intercut. It all depends on the kind of scene that you want to create. But most people use cut to or smash to just because it's easier than the whole dissolving or the intercutting. And
it's also that you don't want to use it too often because you want to be able to allow the director or the producer or whoever picks up your script to make that decision themselves. Sometimes, like if they want to cut earlier, then you don't want to have like a script that is trying to also direct how it plays out in the final.
How it flows and how it goes together. Yeah.
All right, here's the last question, guys. Did you give him a point? Oh, nobody got that. Never mind. What does a
wait? Let me there we go. Go ahead.
What does a
Benny, don't forget to go because I don't think you did last time.
Okay. Are you good?
No, I didn't. I messaged Samad. Dang it. It's the last person that texts you. It automatically goes to them. There we go.
Oh, all right. What does a PA do on set?
Oh, wow.
Wait, guys. 1, 2, 3. We'll reset. What does...
Wait, let me reset first.
What?
Let me reset first. If you're resetting, let me put the thingy. There we go. Go.
What does a PA do on set? 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so Lorena and Colin.
Colin got it.
Colin.
First. Colin.
Yeah, because the other two went before you said go. See, that's why I'm saying you're confusing people.
What do you mean? I was going to go. You just...
I know, but you keep forgetting to go in some of them, and it's confusing people.
Okay. Anyway, Colin, go ahead.
Okay, PA is a production assistant, and they do all the like menial tasks on set. So they like get like they could drive people around. They could like get people coffee or get people like donuts or bagels or whatever, and they could like help with whatever anyone in any like department or area needs and stuff, like just any of the random tasks.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, a production assistant, they do a large variety of tasks on a set. Any extra role that needs to be filled, if they don't have a second AC for whatever reason, they'll probably get a production assistant to do slating. If they need any other task, like getting the director, well, probably not the director, but getting everyone like a cup of water or something like that, like Colin said, they will. There's also a different distinction between a production assistant and what they call a runner. And a runner is somebody who is going out, picking up the stuff and coming back. And that's pretty much all they do. Like a production assistant usually stays on set, and they might go, if there's water downstairs, they might go downstairs and get the water and bring it back up. A runner will be somebody who they send to the store with like a prepaid card or something to buy the water and bring it back if they forgot to bring it. So that's the distinction.
But sometimes the production assistant will be used as a runner as well.
Yeah, if they don't have a runner, they'll just use a production assistant as that. So either way it works.
PA is everything.
So Priscilla, who won?
Okay, so Brent has 2.5 points. Lorena has 5. Wait, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 points. Brian has 1 point. Colin took it with 5.5. And Mario has 1.5 points.
And Daniel has 0. Woo!
Oh my goodness. Congratulations, Colin. You win nothing, but you know.
You win a pat on the back.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So what'd you guys think of that? You like that or?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, we're learning stuff. So
There you go. That's it.
even though these terms you think you're supposed to know them because you hear them all the time or you see them, or you may not even know that a term is what it is, but you know what it is. So it's good to kind of have a recap of all of that.
Can I ask one question? It's something that I've been wondering about for the longest time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honey, where's the book?
What is the best boy?
A best boy. Oh man, I think hold on. I have a better description in here.
Best boy is assistant to basically the light technicians. Basically, he's just to help out with the lights. Like basically, he's learning under the key gaffer or grip.
Yep. So it says they're the assistant chief lighting technician. So they're right underneath the gaffer, or they're called the best boy, aka best boy. They're directly responsible to the gaffer, and they expedite the procedures performed by the lighting crew. So they're kind of over just the lighting crew, and then you have the gaffer who was over, I think, what were they over? Lighting and what was the other thing? Daniel, do you know?
What was the
Honey,
question?
I think it was just the gaffer messed with lighting, and he also had to make sure that he knew all the laws and stuff, right? That was pretty much the gaffer's job.
Gaffer's in charge of the lighting.
Oh, the gaffer works with the director of photography as well. The best boy will just work underneath the director of photography. I mean, the best boy will work only underneath the gaffer with the lighting crew.
And then grips
gaffer is the one who can go to the director of photography and talk to him and kind of discuss what kind of lighting needs to be done. So that would be the difference.
Did you understand? Do you want to try to explain better?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh, it can get a little confusing.
Oh, you good with the answer? You're good with that answer? You got it? Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, so now we're gonna just have like a general discussion of anything you guys wanted to talk about this week that
right.
the videos or what?
I was gonna say specifically in the videos that we watched, not just anything. Specifically with the
what
topics
we learned this week. We had like in the syllabus, we had the videos and stuff, which is what we were watching. If anybody got to study some of that, you might know something we didn't go over in the little game show thing we did just now.
Anybody else write this stuff down?
What was that?
Did anybody else write the questions down? I figured it'd be a good idea when I go back and read this stuff to be able to.
Right.
Like I said, everything is in that.
If anybody has time to like go back and listen, there's also that.
Yeah, there's the recording and also there's the book. Honey, can you show the book again? I was going to, but it wasn't with me.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, this one goes into detail about every single person on a set. Most of these won't be used on any of the smaller sets, but if they have like a huge giant production, they'll probably have almost every single one of these.
Write the name of that book in the chat or in the whatever.
In the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I want to actually look into that.
You know, I did want to talk. There was something I thought was really funny. I think it's really great how they call the potential, like, you know, second assistant director second instead of third, and I think that's just great. Like,
oh yeah,
I love that.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff.
Like a lot of like once you get to those kind of numbers, it just gets confusing and weird because it's like, why the second instead of the third assistant or something.
I've always learned it's like first, second, third, and fourth. I never actually never heard of like how you said it.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Like there's always been 4 camera assistants, and outside the DOP and stuff like that, I've always worked like that.
Like
Yeah, there are
I
4
think
cameras.
the-
That's what
the
he
AD
explained.
is the
No,
assistant.
but no, what I'm trying to say is like how you guys said it is like the DOP counts as the first one, and then blah blah
Oh,
blah.
yeah. Like the hierarchy, yeah. I
Yeah,
got
but how I've worked is like there's 4 assistants outside that, so it's 4 people in chart on camera. That's how I worked.
you. Okay, so like 4 camera operators then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
Well,
you
I think
in
it
there?
matters.
We
It
about to start
definitely
the new
matters
beginning.
on how many cameras you have.
And
You'll
also it
have,
probably
like,
depends on the set.
that too, and how big it is, or how many people you have available, stuff like that.
Is Brent in there still?
I think he disappeared.
He hasn't been
I
over
think-
there for a while.
I think Thanos got him.
Should I text him?
His phone's probably right there. You know, probably.
He said he could hear everything we're saying last time, so he might just be over there doing well.
Oh, playing with his daughter or something. Yeah. All right. So, did anyone take a look at the syllabus? See any of the material for the topics we had for this week?
You guys watch any of those videos or anything? Was anybody able to get around to that? You have anything you would like to say, Colin? Anything you learned?
Well, I just kind of learned all this stuff. Like, I just tried to understand more about it. Like, I didn't know anything about the structure, so I just watched them and tried to understand them. There's not much interesting stuff I could say. I just watched them.
Right.
I don't know. The most interesting thing I had to say was just, oh, look at that, second. I don't know. I tried to think of other stuff.
Did you watch any on the screenwriting though? Because that was also part of the topic, and there were some really good ones, long ones, like
I
pretty
watched
long.
all the videos. Yeah, I think I watched.
Oh, you
them.
watched all of them?
Well, the ones that were in that section, I watched the ones for last week too. But I went to the websites, but I didn't I didn't read everything on the website. I just watched the videos. Also, I put the videos on 2 times speed. That's kind of interesting. It got the information.
Oh, definitely. That's the best way to do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information.
Watch them all at one time, or just watch a couple that goes with that matches with this, or.
Yeah, so in the syllabuses we sent everybody, if you go in there, I added recommended videos that are kind of they go along with whatever topic we're doing that week. Like this week we were doing format and structure in screenwriting in a screenplay, and then we were doing the do's and don'ts of screenwriting, and we were doing the line of authority in production. So if you go into the syllabuses, you'll see there's videos that go along with those things that I felt kind of matched with what we were discussing. And then after this meeting, we can go ahead and start on the week 3 material, which will be, I'll go into that in a minute, but first I wanted to discuss everything about this week first.
So there are a lot of videos in the thing, but if you got the ones I recommend you guys watch, I know it's kind of tedious because it's very long, and I do recommend you speeding it up, but all of the ones that are so many mistakes that that screenwriters learn too late, or how to make how to make your script not boring, and that kind of thing. It's long. There are some that are an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, but it's so good. And you have screenwriters, you have people who used to work on for major companies with giving notes for scripts. You have showrunners, people from all different lines of work, from all different perspectives, giving their point of view and what they think helps. And
yeah,
it was
so
really,
it's a
really
lot of good points made in the videos, and I actually wrote down some that I was wanting to share because I felt like these really go along with what we're talking about. Some of the tips I wrote down that we saw in the videos we watched today were when you are writing a script and you're writing a character, one of the things that's really hard to get right is a person's dialogue. It's hard to get them to sound real without having them blabber on like some people in real life do, or where they go back and forth and they're just talking around in circles. So one of the things that they recommend to do is while you're writing the dialogue or after you write the dialogue, go back and read it out loud. See if it sounds natural. See if it sounds like a real person would say that, or if it sounds very clunky and very weird and like something nobody would ever think of saying, and obviously written by a script. So you really want your dialogue to sound natural and like it's coming from a person, but you also don't want it to drag on or be repetitive. So you want to just go back, read it, make sure it sounds good, and continue on to the next character. And then another thing they said, we already said this one, but use transitions in your script. Transitions and parentheticals, use those very sparingly. Don't use those too often. Parentheticals, that's only if you feel like you have a line of dialogue that is
that you don't think that needs direction. For example, like the sarcasm thing.
Like if somebody's saying "I love you," you're automatically going to read that as being very like loving and caring to the other person. If you want it to sound different, if they're saying it sarcastically or whatever, then you want to say it sarcastically in the parenthetical. But otherwise, you don't want to say caring and then say "I love you," because generally you're going to say "I love you," you're going to already think that. So
the reason for that,
not to put too much, because that's also up to the actor and the director of how they say it. And they said that if your script is written well, you should be able to tell exactly how that character's saying it anyway, without even needing that little piece of information in the parenthetical.
yeah, their main point is if you are writing a good script, you should be able to convey that emotion without needing all of those parentheticals, without needing all of that extra explanation. It should already be coming off the page. You should already be able to read the dialogue and understand what's going on, what they're feeling, what's happening. You know?
Right. It should. It should play into your context, your subtext, and then your actual text, which would be the dialogue. You should already know what they're talking about, because there should be the situation they're around should give the information needed of how they're saying it. The next thing is when you're writing a script and you put the interior and all that, and then you start your action, like what's happening in the scene or what the character's doing. Try to keep that short. You don't want the action to drag on for too long. You don't want to be too informational. You don't want to be like, Lakota looked back and he saw a black square, and then he looked at the red square and the black square and the red square and the black. It's just Lakota looked back, saw his wall, and noticed it looked kind of like a checker. Something like that. It's just really short. Try to keep it condensed, to the point. And you always, always, always want to keep your action present tense. You don't want it to sound like it's in the past. You want it to sound like it's happening now, because you're reading it as if you were watching it on film. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, but anyway. Another thing they said to do is never say "we" in a script or "us." Like we go into the room and see. You just say, like
they.
As we enter the room, I don't know how you would put it, but you don't say "we" ever. You're never saying it like we look back and see Lakota looking back at his room. You just say Lakota looks back at his room, if that makes sense. You never want to like say it like we are doing this or we are doing that. You just want to say what is happening. So it's
you kind of want to say it from the third person in some ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, does that mean like you don't want to like take the you don't want to sound like you're talking for the audience? Like I don't really get it. Like is that what it's saying?
Yeah, it's like you're not, because when I'm thinking of writing a script, usually I do feel the need, not the need. Usually I do saying we, like we enter the room as if I'm the cameraman and I'm the crew, and we enter the room and we see Lakota standing there and we look through the whole room. But what they say is not to do that, to just say Lakota is standing still in his room looking back at the wall.
Or Daniel walked down the hall and looked around the room.
Instead of we follow Daniel walking down the hall. that makes sense.
Okay.
So you just
Like if you're writing a book,
you're describing what's happening. You're not the camera. You're supposed to be the story. I think that's why they say don't say we.
like we is more for like a kid's book.
Yeah, or to like I said, to like say you're the camera and you're following the action instead of just being in the story and being
Or
the
novels. There are novels that are set in first person
Or a narrator can say
Yeah.
we.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
right. So this is only the we thing. That is only if it's in the action, like the description of what is happening or what is on scene. Then you don't want to use we. But a narrator, if he said we, that would be in his dialogue. So that wouldn't be the same thing exactly. It would be like
No, no, because it's like we are watching these two young lovers. Like I've seen like Morgan Freeman say we and describing a scene. in
right,
his,
because it's in his dialogue, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But if it's
What
in
if-
the action of the scene, you don't want to have we, because then you're saying that you're the
Yeah,
camera.
not in the description, only in the dialogue. Like that dialogue would count as a narration. That would still be dialogue. It's narration, but it's still, but the description of the scene is something else.
So if you have like, I remember seeing like, it's just like in my mind, it's like a cliche of like hearing, a filmmaker say like, we open on something, we pan this way, it's all that stuff. And like, that's just like in my mind. So it's interesting to hear that like, you're not supposed to do it in a screenplay, like.
Yeah, right. That's because
So
that's
it's
what
like
sounded weird
different.
to me too.
it's like. That's just how they say it though, but it's not actually like what they want in a screenplay.
Okay. Cool.
The next thing is that when you are writing a screenplay and you have characters and they're having dialogue, you want to show instead of tell. It's the same rule for like if you're writing a book. You don't want the character to explain how they're feeling. Like, oh, I'm so mad because I forgot the last question. Instead, you want to show like Lakota clenches his fist and his jaw, and that will show that he's angry instead of me as the character telling you what I feel.
You
Hey,
want to have
Brent's back.
cutscenes.
Hey, Brent.
You want to have cutscenes to show that, to show different inserts to different areas of showing expression, to show like you see if someone's sad, a tear going down, tears going down the eyes, and just like you show the emotion. You don't explain the emotion through the script.
Right.
A
Exactly.
good example,
If you're in the
someone
park,
was.
if you go to the park in your script and there's a lady on the bench, like Daniel said, and has her head down and you can see that she has a tear, we already know she's sad. She doesn't have to say, oh, I'm so sad right now, because that's too much. You're telling, you're not showing.
Unless you're in a Dr. Seuss movie. I
Yeah.
noticed they do that a lot.
I mean, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but that's the general. You always want to have distinct personalities in your characters. You should be able to kind of tell who is talking without having to read the name after you introduce your characters, and maybe you're in page 5 or 6 of your script. You should, at that point, if you have the two characters introduced early, you should be able to know kind of who is talking when they say something, because they have their own take on it. They have their own way of saying things. They have their own way of talking. And so you want to make sure that your characters are distinct enough to be able to tell them apart, that they don't all sound the same, because you as a screenwriter are going to be writing all the characters. So all the characters are coming from you. But what somebody in one of the videos gave a good example of was, he was saying he always says cuss words. So all his characters, any situation they were in, he noticed that he always had them start off by saying like, oh shit. But that's not the case. Not everybody's going to say that. Some people don't cuss at all. Some people don't use that word. So you always want to have the characters be different enough to where they aren't all sounding like they're the same person.
Perfect example of that is Charlie Brown.
I was going to say Training Day.
I was gonna say, like when we were talking and we were trying to explain the difference, because the example the guy gave was have contrast between your characters and they can play off each other. Like their personalities will make a greater contrast, and you'll be able to see their personalities more distinctively. I was thinking of Luke and Han, and Coda gave that example, and I was like,
In
oh, I
Star
was thinking the
Wars.
same thing. Yeah, in Star Wars, who can Luke and Han, and how Luke is this hopeful, optimistic, dreamer, and Han's this cynic, completely pessimistic, wisecracking,
So when you hear a
and
line of dialogue, even if you didn't know it, let's say you didn't hear the voice, you can tell the character is Han Solo because he's saying something in a more pessimistic way, and Luke sounds way more hopeful and like everyone's good and anything can
like
anything
boyish.
can happen, and Han Solo's like, nah, we're gonna die here. So it's
And
kind
Luke and Han also has more of a mature voice and a mature tone to his dialogue, as Luke is more of a boyish innocence, and you can tell that as well.
like the contrast between the characters in our group, Brent and Colin. Colin was a little bit more giving with the
Oh, don't start it. With
the point. He was like, all right, whatever. Brent is
Too
way
late.
more competitive, like he said. So he has a different character trait. He has a different
Lorena is competitive, but
You
it's
can tell
sweet
when
and
Brent was being
meek
very
and
competitive that it was Brent.
very,
So like
He's
adult.
sweet and innocent.
What was that?
yes, but also very smart.
Me and Collins are training day. That's why I mentioned training day.
Oh, he's back. Brett's
So
back.
like adult child, you'll be able to tell the difference. You don't have to say adult child. You'll be able to tell.
Yeah, like you should be able to, like
Right.
the way the child speaks should be a lot different than the way
Right.
the adult speaks. Also, like you said, like age makes a big difference. If it's a 90-year-old man who's lived through World War II and it's a 17-year-old guy or girl who hasn't lived through
high
anything
school.
really, like their way of talking and how they feel about the world is going to be super different. So you should be able to see a very distinct difference between that old man and that young teenager character.
It's like all our experiences in film. It's basically, it makes our personality. It makes our personality on set.
So I got a
Yeah.
question, right?
Mhm.
So how, all right, as far as writing scripts and stuff like that, right? How you can bring a character, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to be able to make the character dialogue, because I watch a couple of shorts and I can see the dialogue, they have good dialogue, but the characters are not like, I don't know if they're into it or they just not having that connection, that like, that feeling of like, yo, you can
The dialogue sounds forced, is what you mean?
Are you talking about watching something or reading something?
No, I'm talking about both.
Well, watching something, that could be the actors, and they could either be bad actors or there could be a director that just said, you know what, that's good enough. George Lucas is known very well for his actors being very wooden. They don't give off like very emotional dialogue.
Right.
Because
And
he's not very
that's something to
good
do
at
with him. It's not
directing.
exactly to do with the script.
But
It's
sometimes
kind of like
sometimes I see some scripts, like I'm trying to figure out a way, like because I'm trying to do a couple of shorts, and I'm trying to find a way, like doing a father and son show to be easier, doing somebody but like trying to find the right actor to actually be enthralled into the character and really put the work and effort into the character to make it come to life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I believe when I've been doing I guess I think I did a show with another character, and because he was not bringing the character to life, it made it very hard for me to portray my character. It's almost like I wasn't getting that connection. I couldn't bring my character more to life because of his lack of I guess energy or experience.
Yeah,
Like we were saying, it also comes down to the dialogue in a sense. Like it can be really good dialogue, but if it doesn't match the character, or if it doesn't, like, how do I explain it? Crap.
But
Yeah,
you
you know what I'm
can-
talking about, that
but
video?
hold on.
But you can tweak a person, like tweak the dialogue, if you add the right type of music too. Like
It
I've
can
done
be-
that.
yeah.
That is true. In editing, you can, but
Like I'm
depends
doing
on
that
how
right now for this guy.
But the body language is a huge thing as well. Oh, what I'm trying to say is like you can have pretty dialogue, but if it doesn't sound realistic, if it doesn't sound like it makes sense, like if something has like beautiful dialogue, like they're pretty words, but they don't sound real, they don't sound like they would actually come from that person's mouth. It could be the actor, but it could also be that it just doesn't sound natural, like we were talking.
Because I'm also trying to figure out, like, writing certain scripts don't fit a certain character, an actor, like, almost like, I wouldn't say typecast, like, all right, for instance, for me, without my dreads, I could probably play a cop or a lawyer or something like that. Now with dreads, I'm automatically going to either gangster killer, murderer, robber,
Oh my God.
Jamaican guy.
unless I can either find a way to find a way to, I don't know. It's just, there's certain roles I know I'm limited to because of how you look.
Okay, so that
Hey, I've seen guys in dreads and suits that look awesome, just letting you know.
You could be a lawyer.
Hi, baby. Sorry.
So Brent, that is more to do with the actors and on production than the script itself. Like the thing you said, I think you said that the other actor wasn't really feeding into your the way you were acting wasn't a good match.
There wasn't a really good flow between the two of you. He wasn't really contributing to it.
Right. And then it's like, when you have that, when you run into a roadblock like that, how do you deal with a situation like that without, it's almost like, do I tell this actor, like, all right, you don't have.
Well, that I would say that is up to the director of the film to, they are supposed to be the ones to tell the actor how to improve in a good way, like to come up to them and be like, hey, so I see you're trying to, be jokey, but it right now it's just coming off a little stale. Maybe you could try to be more energetic, or try to, try to make a joke. I don't know, something like that. Like they try to get the actor to convey how they want them to feel and look on the screen, but it's ultimately up to the director to tell the other actor how to do it. I think. I don't think
there's so many movies where you can tell that like the actor is trying his darn hardest, but the script just isn't there. And there are scripts and there are movies where you can tell that the dialogue is great, everything is great, but the actor just doesn't give a crap. And unfortunately, there's not really much you as the co-actor, also an actor, can do in that situation. But people have worked in production. Does anyone have a suggestion for dealing with that? Because you guys have also worked in stuff, right? Lorena, Daniel, Colin, you worked in some stuff at school as well.
Like for me, what I've done is like I've had some actors that are like that, and then I just give them I give them opportunity to like spice it up a bit, to add their own lines to make them feel a little more comfortable in their role. Like I give them a little bit of leeway, so what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit improv.
Yeah. But that's another thing that ultimately goes to you as the director. It's not.
Yeah, but I listen in on the improv I get 3 suggestions of improv, and then I take one of them and I let them go with it, and they feel a lot more comfortable, and I see a lot more evolved as an actor, that they're more involved in the character.
Sometimes they could just be stiff.
But don't that change your script? Sometimes they do too much improv because you might want a message.
No, but I do it like I give all my actors like 1 or 2 improv things per film. And then the rest, it's like, please just get into that character. Any issues they have with the lines, I tell them to let me know which ones. And then I work with them on those ones on a solo day, just between me and them.
Right. It really
yeah,
depends.
But I feel like realistically, that's a little hard to do, like in a bigger production, or when you don't have that much control of the script. It really depends
on the director itself, on whatever set you're on. Some directors are like, no, it's this way, and you have to do it this way.
Right.
Like
I've been on not a set, but I've done a play before where I was trying to do improvs, an off-Broadway play, and they were not having it. They were like, no.
And ultimately, that would be up to the director to let you know if that's okay or not. And
I find that Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. I mean, I haven't worked with a lot of directors, but I have taken a lot of acting classes and things. And when taking direction, it's almost like if you even just like get a second, readjust and then move in again as the actor. And then also if your scene partner isn't giving you anything, then you just kind of have to make it yourself. So like pretend to react to what is supposed to be there, and then that can help propel it forward and help them actually move into the character more. Because if you keep the scene rolling, even if they fall out for a second, you might be able to save that scene.
Yeah, that's good advice. Do your job, do your part, and let the person follow suit or not follow suit. You're there for your job.
I would also say,
I didn't even know you were here, Sarah.
What was that?
I was just listening in the whole time because, like, if I feel like I'm not gonna say I have nothing like to contribute, I'm just gonna be quiet.
And I'm trying to get back to you, by the way, but I've been busy.
Oh, all good. Take your time, no problem.
Just add me on Facebook. We'll talk from there.
You guys are talking about, you can't be having this kind of conversation secretly on here. Everything is an open book.
I mean, you know what? I would love to try my hand at directing if anyone would be interested in like doing a scene or something, or at some
I've
point.
known a lot of like actors that go into directing a little bit because they know how to talk to other actors because they've been in that situation. So
yeah, and acting too. Like I do acting as well, but I mean, like I haven't, to be honest, I haven't had a lot of luck actually getting hired yet. I have had a lot of experience with practicing acting though, and using different techniques. I've been struggling with my own personal stuff, which has been my biggest thing lately, where I haven't been up to my usual speed, which has been, it's like coming back.
It's not helping.
Huh? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I used to be like very, pointed on things, so it's very frustrating for me.
Like my production.
Oh, trust me, I know. I just came out of a really bad rut. When it not only creatively but just like energetically speaking, having energy for anything and working towards anything has just been.
My production had 6 projects coming up, and then we had to cancel them because of COVID.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, just like I have certain routines and things that I like to do, and people are like, well, just adjust. I'm like, yeah, but every adjustment takes like, for me, it's a long time because I'm very, when I have like things that I do, very systematic. Like I'll just keep doing them forever.
Try being on lockdown. My city just went on lockdown just today.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah. But yeah, talking about like directing and stuff, that could be an interesting one. And I find that oftentimes like every director is going to be a different person, and it could be fun to work with and deal with a bunch of different directors. And and sometimes you just meet people that no matter how hard you try, can't click with.
But like Sarah, do your part,
just going to be
on
to the
your
point,
job.
not really give you anything to feed off of, or just some just go, yeah, that's a good scene, and you feel like maybe it's not, like you could do a better performance. But some directors are just going to be like, no, let's go to the next thing, and you just kind of have to deal with that.
Yeah, I feel like Harrison Ford directed himself in all of Star Wars. So.
Shorts? You trying to do a couple of shorts for the summer, you saying?
I find that's the best way is when you show up to a job, they just give you pointers. For changes, they don't say much, because like the more someone says and they try to like get you blah, blah, blah. Because if you show up, you have your lines ready, you know what you're doing as an actor. Yeah. Then if the more that they kind of feed you, the more it can get confused. So it's better just to be like, okay, we're looking for this or we're looking for that, very straight to the point. You do your job unless there's a problem, and then everybody gets paid and goes home, or doesn't.
I feel like it depends. Everyone has a style. That's what we're learning more and more. Like you have your style, like you said, you like things straight to the point. I feel like some actors like that more feedback. Like, what am I doing? Tell me how I can improve. Was this okay? What can I change in this? I'm not an actor, but like I constantly like getting feedback on, hey, how can I become better? Like just as a person, how can I fix this? Like what am I lacking? What do I need to work on? When some other people feel like constantly hearing that is kind of depressing and like, dang it, like I'm never good enough. So I think it depends a lot on people's style, and that's okay. Like everyone has their own style. You're going to find a director that works for you, just like the director is going to find actors that work for him. And screenwriting,
like it's going to, no matter what, there's always going to be those sets that have a director that you don't like, and then there's going to be other sets that you find a really good director that you like a lot. That's why you'll see all the big directors and the big actors. They usually have a lot of the same. I mean, so the big directors usually have a lot of the same actors in it because they work well with each other. And then there'll be those other ones that you never see them on one of their films because they worked in one way in the past and they didn't fit well. They didn't like the way each other worked. So they said, nah. And they're not gonna
It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's like it could be either really good or really bad. And either way, if energy is that, like you in an acting scene, you want the stakes to be as raised as high as possible. That's what creates a good kind of acting scene, but it could cause a problem if you're having that with a director and an actor. Because now we have a
That's
problem.
right.
So now we have a problem. An actor to an actor, now you're creating a beautiful scene because that's what you want. You want that friction. That's like the beautiful, that's the moment. But if you're having that with the director, something's got to give. So then you either have to just like, you got to figure that out. So then if that's the case, then you could be like, okay, too much. If you want or whatever, just like cut the conversation short if you're starting to have. That's one thing is I've learned in life, just in working with any boss, if you start to have friction with your boss, say nothing, do your job and like walk away, because like otherwise like you won't have a job.
Yeah.
That said,
No,
I
Priscilla.
feel like
explosive.
No,
I will fucking
so
like
you're
them.
totally right. Like what you said is we're like you have to learn from everything that you work on. Like
Yeah.
even for me, every set I work on, like when my production, I'm like, is there anything that you think I should change? Because I'm still evolving. I'm still basically learning from this stuff. Like last time, I didn't have enough water, so I brought an extra case of water. Like there's different. What is that noise?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, it's like I said, friction can be a very beautiful thing, especially like if you're doing something like a death scene, or like there's a lot of great scenes where if you have big friction with another actor, it could be a beautiful thing. But again, like if it's the boss that creates a dynamic that's just not very fun, I mean, it's doable. Anything is doable. If you have to show up with somebody that you want to fucking peel their eyes out or something, you just do it. And the worst part is if you you want to peel their eyes out and they just won't stop like pestering you because you're like, I'm just there to do my job. Please don't pester me because you're not helping the problem.
so that said, I feel like this is a really good segue into like talking about criticism and notes and stuff. However, I feel like we should let some of the people who haven't gotten to talk yet like give their perspective as well. Like I know Lorena looks like she's been wanting to say something from her face. And Tyler, you can give your opinion as well. Like anyone that wants to interject, like, oh, how would you deal with this situation? I feel like that's also really good. If you guys want to, of course, like you're, prerogative, just so that we can let everyone give their opinion on that topic and we can move on to the next topic. Because we know that it's getting late and we don't want anybody to, have to leave early or be like, oh crap, I wanted to, continue studying, but it's getting late and I have work tomorrow, that kind of thing. That okay?
Do you have anything they want to say more on the that topic? What's the time?
Lorena, you want to give your opinion? You were making a face.
Sorry, I just came back from letting my cat in. I think I missed the first part of the discussion, but it's kind of more like about friction with actors. Working really.
Brent was asking a question about how you deal with the situation. He was talking about an experience. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, but he was talking to me about an experience where he was working with another actor and he was acting, and he felt like the other actor wasn't giving him anything. And he didn't know what he should do in that situation. So he was asking, like, what should I do? Should I talk to him? And we all kind of gave our opinions on it. And so,
Or 2 cents.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I've never, I'm not really an actor myself. But
as you said, you wanted to do directing, right?
Yeah, I've done directing I don't want to say quite a bit, but like that's kind of mostly what I've been doing.
Awesome.
So like as a director, what would you say? Would you want your actors to try to, I don't know, would you want them to try to talk to each other and try to figure it out? Or would you want to step in and be like, listen, I'm the director, so I'm going to talk to them and talk to Brent one-on-one and be like, I know they're not working with you well. I'm gonna try. And then go with the other person one-on-one. Would you want to talk to them both at the same time? Would you just want them to try to hash it out? Like, what would you do as a director for that situation?
Right. So, I mean, I think like a lot of things, it's always like situational and like it depends on like the person. And if I like know them well enough, then I know like what kind of strategy I'll use. I kind of had an experience like that when I directed a theater play. And I could tell like one of the actors was like kind of struggling with like, yeah, making a connection and like connecting with the other actor. And I kind of talked to the one who wasn't really given it. And I kind of like gave him a few pointers and like some notes and I was trying to like get them like more into the headspace, and that's kind of what I did. And like it was like better the next time. Yeah, so I
You
guess
want to do it as you wouldn't want the actor to try to talk to
So
them.
what did you do to help him? What do you think
Me?
helped? No, Lorena. She said she talked to him.
I kind of just got him like more fired up and like more into the headspace by like, I can't really remember like the thing too well, but I just gave him like scenarios to think about, or like scenarios to like put him in like a certain headspace, and that kind of like did it for him. But I've also seen like I've been on like other sets with like friends who've directed, and it really depends. Sometimes like the other actors will like give each other notes, and I've seen that in real life on a short I was on. It was really cool.
I feel like it's better that way, the director, like you were saying, because I feel like another actor telling you, I need you to bring it a little bit over. If I don't know you,
They might feel offended. Yeah.
Yeah, like if one of the other actors said it to you, Brent, how would you feel?
Yeah.
I'm pretty open, so I'm good at criticism, but I can see it going the other way if I feel like, I need you to bring it, and they're doing their best, and maybe like Maria was saying, sometimes you got to inspire and motivate each other to make this work.
You don't want people to walk off the set.
Somebody texted me and was saying that sometimes it's good to like maybe build a relationship with the character you're working with before the scenes, like maybe take a day or two to spend some time with each other and try to figure it out. Like get to know a little bit of background of the character you're working with. Maybe build a relationship from there and move forward.
Find a connection between you and the character.
Yeah, that's nice.
So basically, is it like talk to the director and ask the director to talk to the actor? Like that would probably be the best.
I would say do that, yeah. As the actor, I wouldn't say go to the other person and talk to them, because you never know if they're as open as you or not. They might be very.
The might say you're the problem.
Yeah.
I remember like one time in high school when I was in this like musical, I was in like Les Mis or something, and someone else who was like totally like, we were both like, I was just like an extra in the show. But basically like one of the other people in the show like would like tell me to do things, and like would tell me to like do things better or do things like this or do things like that. And like, it was really like patronizing. It was like really weird. It was like a really,
because they're not the director and
like,
they're trying to
they didn't have any authority. There was no like reason, like, and even so, like no one else had even told me that I should be doing anything different. So like it was a whole experience where like, I think like if you're an actor, like, and you're kind of equals, it like, I mean, I didn't really care. I kind of messed with him a little bit. I mean, honestly, I kind of messed with him, because I said like, okay, like I would just say okay over and over again, and it kind of made him annoyed. But that was kind of my way of dealing with it. But like, like, I mean, obviously I like took it into consideration and stuff, but I still like, was never being told like that I should change. So like, if you're an actor and if you're equals, it can sort of be like, I think there's like a way to say it where it's like, you're like just talking to someone, you're like, hey, like, by the way, like, you make it casual, like, hey, like, by the way, I noticed this happened. I don't know if that's the right way of doing it. And like, you make it really like, not so like direct, not so like, calling out, because in a lot of situations, like because you're not the director, because you're not someone who like has the whole vision, you might be wrong. And I feel like that's kind of like what was happening there, is like he was maybe he wasn't like totally wrong, but like he was at least like not like in the headspace of the director, not in the space where like it actually like matters, not telling me things that matter, or not telling me things that like are being accounted for in like other places. So yeah, I just think like it might be it's also matters like how you say it to someone and like who you are when you say it to someone. So yeah.
Yeah, if you are gonna give a tip, it's a psychology technique that they constantly tell us to use when you're doing an intervention or in any situation really. Start with a compliment. Like you can go like, hey, so you did a really great job, that was really good. I was wondering, what this scene that you did, what do you think about it? You think you delivered, are you happy with your performance, or I don't know, something like that.
See,
But
that's
sometimes
I mean,
can
I don't
some people.
Or maybe that's patronizing.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
mean you have to like sacrifice the I don't mean you need to like sacrifice the content of the message. Like I just mean like if you're an actor telling another actor to do something, like you don't have like the full vision most likely, or you don't
Yeah,
have
definitely.
like that set, unless you literally heard the director like say multiple times, do this, and then the person's still not doing it, and for some reason
Like-
the director's like distracted. Like, you know, like unless you have that level of like confidence, surety, and you have like, you know, receipts to back it up, like there's like not
I would
like it's just not like a very like courteous or like logical way of doing things, and it can be like misinterpreted, and
Yeah.
like, it isn't actually the
like
word
Oh,
of
I
the
have something
director.
to
So
add.
like who knows if you're
And
actually
even then, I feel like you should talk to the director, even if you see it and they're saying it a million times, to be like, hey, can you maybe talk to this person one-on-one? Because I don't think she's getting it. Yeah.
I have like another thing is like if the writer or even the director, like whoever's writing it, go to them because they'll know that character better than anyone there.
Yeah.
Like if you go talk to the writer, they'll know. Like the writer should have a good understanding of every character, and in the script should describe what the character's like, what the character like basically favorite color is and stuff like that, and what type of character they want to bring it to the table. So if they want to say a cocky person, they should go to the writer or go to the director instead of to another actor or another person on set. Always go to the source. Like
Yeah, that
whoever
works if
wrote
you
it-
want to say something too. Sarah wanted to add something. Sorry, Sarah, you've been
I
trying to talk
did
for like
okay.
3
about
minutes.
Wasn't
the
finished.
Oh, sorry. Let
Yes.
Daniel finish and then Sarah can talk. Sorry, Daniel, you took a pause.
Yeah, I was just trying to breathe.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to let everyone talk because I know it can
Yeah.
be hard with so many people trying to interject.
But yeah, just like it's better to just like I'm trying to get my train of thought back.
Hmm.
Like trying to find just like build your character from the source, and then it's better, and then you know because there's always on set there's always going to be actor versus actor. Someone's going to always want that better role. Some people will sabotage other people. I've seen it several times on set. And some directors can be, excuse my languages, jerks on set. I've seen it in person. One guy take a role away from one person and put it to another person because they didn't think they were bringing enough to the table. So always just like study your characters. Study what, like if it's based off another, like ask what type of character it's based off and study that type of character. So it's like if it's a greaser, look into greaser movies, look into greaser stuff. If it's a hippie, look into hippie movies, look into that.
That's
But-
probably, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, all of that like jib jab behind the scenes stuff is probably why I study more than I actually work. But because I hate that shit. I'm so straight to the point. I'm just like, oh, that patronizing stuff. Well, here's the thing: you study psych, you study characters, you study all these things. The last thing you want to do is you go to show up to go to work, and like the director's trying to it's like you could see through it, and then it's like, I know you're just giving me a compliment to lessen the blow, so just tell me what you want. Just what do you want? Let's get this done. But I mean, I guess like all actors probably work a lot differently. I'm not entirely sure, which is why it'd probably be interesting to work from the director's point of view, because I wonder why certain directors do certain things, or why somebody thinks it's a good idea to get a better performance by ripping a part from one person, giving it to another. Like especially on those professional big sets, you hired an actor they come in to do their part. If it's, I mean, it doesn't seem likely they'd have to call somebody in unless they're doing such a bad job and they get fired on the day. I don't really see that as being a
But
A good thing
sometimes,
that can help is watching those videos that we sent. There are a lot of videos about directing as well. Like maybe studying what directors study and learning what directors learn, we can understand their psychology better. We can understand where they're coming from in certain ways.
Part of it, I want to be a director, so I think I've been looking a lot into that type of stuff. And I think part of it probably is that those directors that you're talking about have never been in the acting position, so they don't really know how to come to you about it. You know what I mean? Like they don't really know what you're feeling or how you'll react to what they have to say. So some directors might be like afraid to tell you. Some directors might be straight to the point and blunt. And sometimes maybe that worked with some actors, not with others. And so then they switched it up. It just depends on what the director knows, what positions they've done. That's why I like to kind of try to know a little bit of everything, so I can kind of see where everyone's coming from and like, oh, you're not getting it because of this. Well, let's read it. Let's read over the script and see and discuss this. And maybe what you want is better than what I want. And we'll see if we can do it your way, that kind of thing. But I
feel
really
like
what I'm talking about is just directors that don't really know the acting side of things.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably move on to the next topic because this is going to be really late. But I'll let you finish, Sarah. Just letting everyone know, if you guys want to talk, there is like a little thingy on the that has like a little hands up raised emoji thingy. Like you can raise your hand and raise hand. There's like even a button that says it. That way it's easier for us to know when you guys want to talk. That way we don't miss anybody that had something that they thought would be important to share, or a perspective and that kind of thing, like Coda
that
did
would have
just
been
now.
easier for the game.
I was
No,
thinking that, but then
because-
I was thinking like if everybody raises their hand, it would be everyone had their hand raised at once and we wouldn't know who went first.
We wouldn't know who did it
And
first.
it
So
stays
yeah,
up here. It stays up here for like 10 seconds. So after the question was over, it might have prolonged
disappeared.
the game. And so that's why I didn't want to use that. But anyway, I want to go ahead and move on to the next tip if everyone's good, because this is it's like 3 hours in. And I just want to get through this stuff so we can go ahead and say bye to everybody.
We just don't want anyone to miss out since we know it's getting late.
Where's that little emoji thing at?
It's on the bar at the bottom. You can see it. It says reactions. Like if you scroll your mouse over, it should say.
Oh.
You click react, see, and then you can do like the face or a clap or whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say the.
Oh wait, honey, Sarah was finishing a thought, and then you can continue.
Did you have something else to say? Sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay. All right. So another tip to use, this is back to screenwriting, is you don't want to, I think I already said this earlier, but you don't want to overuse exposition through dialogue. You want to show, you don't want to tell. Exposition is always bad. It's always clunky. It doesn't fit. There are ways to get around it, like an example being Inception, when one character is new and they don't know what is going on and the other character is explaining to them what is going on. That's exposition, but there's a reason for that exposition.
And while they're doing exposition, they're in constant movement. It's constant stimulation. So you don't get bored and you're not like, oh my gosh, they're just sitting in a coffee shop telling me this story for 10 minutes.
Right. They're going from like scenes to scenes and into the dream, and they're explaining it as they go. So it keeps you hooked instead of them just dumping a whole bunch of exposition on you. So don't do that. The next thing,
Someone say something?
Yeah, what's exposition?
Exposition is just like explaining anything, like explaining what something is or how someone is feeling. It's exposition. It's like if I were to say, guys, I'm feeling really upset right now because I really thought that something, blah, blah, blah. I'm feeling this way and I'm saying it out loud. That's exposition of how I'm feeling. And if I was going to say like, this is how the reactions work and I'm explaining how the reactions work, that was exposition as well. So it's just explaining how a scene is or what a scene is, or what's going on, or what's going to happen, or what's going on in someone's head.
Brent said he's about to put his daughter in bed. To give him a second.
Okay.
Okay. While we were having that discussion, I thought it was a good segue to talking about criticism and that kind of thing. I feel like that one was a really good segue to that.
Mhm.
Because we were talking about how to accept notes and receive criticism from your script, and how to give criticism for a script. It was just really, really good. But I feel like a good example, honey, of what you're talking about when it comes to exposition is like in fantasy, when they're trying to explain the rules of a world. Instead of showing that world and showing the magical elements and how it works, and, you know, the rules of magic and all that, you just have like a voiceover of someone saying, this land is like this, that. The magic works like this, and that. That
Yeah,
is
exposition would be like someone saying, oh, I can only grow a fireball to be this big, instead of just showing that over and over again, to where they don't really need to explain that. That's how it is. If they say like, yeah, well, I can only do my fire magic every 20 minutes, that's exposition. They're explaining how their power works. So you don't want to do too much of that. Something like fantasy is really hard because you need to explain a bunch of rules, especially with something like magic. But you want to do it little bits here and there throughout your script. You don't just want them to keep explaining, and lightning magic works like this, and resurrection magic works like this, and they keep going on and on. That's going to bore the reader of your script, and if it gets made into a film, that's going to bore the person viewing your movie, because it's too much explanation at once. Like a bunch of people.
But again, if you have to,
we're explaining a lot of things, it's kind of getting boring, so people keep leaving. It's just a natural thing.
But again, if you have to have constant movement, like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, they have to explain the universe and the story and how it all fits together, but they do it in such an awesome way because they're also showing the battle. They're not just telling you, but they're showing you all of this happening, and the ring being created, and the battle against the orcs and the people and the dwarves and everything. And so that's a really good way to do it. When you have to use exposition, those are great examples of how to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on if everyone's good with that. So I actually had an idea while we were watching these movies. I took a creative writing course, and at one point they gave us an assignment, which was called a character sheet. And what that was, this was more for books, but I feel like it can also apply to screenplays. And what it is it's basically like you have a blank sheet that has like the character's name. Let me look at it. I actually have it right here. Let's see. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
So we were thinking of sending this in the group.
I'm gonna send this to everybody because I feel like it's a good tool to use. I really liked when my teacher sent it to me. It's basically, it gives you like, what is their nickname, their age, their gender, their height, all these physical characteristics, right? But then it also has like, what kind of habits do they have? Is this girl always trailing her hair? Is this person always chewing their gum? What do they always do? Does this person have a toothpick in their mouth every time you see them? Like, what
Is it
kind of
possible
habits?
you could send that to me, Dakota? That's
What was that?
awesome. Could you send that to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna send that to everybody because I just thought of
Okay.
it today while we were watching.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to have on standby whenever I'm writing scripts.
Yeah, it's a very good way to build a character and dialogue, like we were talking about, and distinctive voices in the characters. It really helps to make you kind of know who your character is before you're even putting them on screen. Do they have any pets? Do they have any friends, fears? Where do they work? How educated are they? If they're really highly educated, they're going to be speaking a lot more eloquently. They're going to be speaking a lot, larger words that most people might not understand. If they have very low education, they might have some slang in their language that nobody else uses except for the people that are in that lower education level. If it's some kind of fantasy and they're dirt farmers or something, they're not going to be speaking the same as the prince in the castle. What kind of
Question.
do they have?
Daniel,
Income, hobbies, sense of humor.
Question, honey.
is it you, the Daniel L. Dunn little figurine dude
Sorry?
on Facebook?
Yep, Daniel Dunn.
With the little figurine?
Yep, of
Okay.
me.
You can't just add you. I can only message you. So I'm just gonna say hi. Okay, that's all. So
Okay. And then like, what kind of sense of humor do they have? Are they very, like Daniel's jokes is he has a lot of puns. That's a different sense of humor than someone who's very like maybe has a very observational sense of humor or has a very dark sense of humor. This will help you to fill out a character, kind of know your character before you put them in any kind of situation. And then when you put them in that situation, you'll be like, you know, this character isn't going to act the same as this other character I've made. This character that's very young and innocent and thinks that everything can be changed and that if they get into the government, they're going to completely change everything compared to this person who has grown up in the government and they've seen that everything can't be fixed because there's so much corruption or something like that. Then then when you put them in that situation, they're going to act differently. They're going to talk differently. They're going to have a different way of going about things. So it really helps you get to know your character and how they are. Are they shy? Are they outgoing? Are they going to stick up for themselves? Are they going to hold back and say, no, it's okay. They can say whatever they want. I'm good. Stuff like that. So I'm going to send this to everybody through email or through text or something, or to the WhatsApp.
Through the WhatsApp group and through email. I feel like that's always the best way to have two places in case you miss it, in case you don't see it, in case you need it on your phone and on your computer.
The
Yeah, I'll
original
probably send
email I gave you guys is working now, by the way.
What was that?
The original email I gave you guys is working now.
Okay. Yep. So we'll send it there. I'm gonna stop sharing now, but yeah. So that was just something that they gave us in class. I kind of added a lot of different details to it, like the shy and outgoing. I think I added that. I just added some things that make people different, and I thought that would be a really good thing to have. And one of the ideas I came up with while we were also watching all these things was I might want to go about it like creating my characters and just having a set list of characters I've made. And then anytime I come up with a plot for a movie, I can go to my character list and be like, who would I want to put in this? Who would be interesting to have in this? Would I want a Luke Skywalker type? Would I want a Donnie Darko type? Who would be the best fit for this situation and how would they respond? And then I can put them in and kind of know how it's going to go. That way, for me at least, I'm not going to be building the story around that character, or I'm not going to already have the story and then be like, well, I'm just going to build the world around that character, or I'm going to build the character around the world. Instead, it's going to be, I already have the character, I already have the world. Let's see what happens when I mash them together. So that was what I thought.
Tayo has a question. She asked in the chat. I was waiting for you to finish.
So my question is, like, what do you think is a healthy amount of characters to have?
Depends on the script.
Are you meaning in the script or just like as a backup, like I was saying?
As a backup.
I would say try to, anytime you, a lot of people were saying this in the videos that we were watching today. They go places and they just kind of listen to how people are acting, you know, like hearing people in a coffee shop. One person gave a really good example of saying like, there are baristas. They wear the same uniform. They have to say the same thing, like, hi, how may I help you today? But the way they say it and the little changes they add to it really make up who they are and their character. So maybe there's someone who's like really cheery and like, hi, how are you? Oh, everything's great. And then there's someone who's like, hi, how are you? You know, like the way they say it, how they're feeling, really affects it. So what they do, a lot of writers, what we heard is they go to those places and they hear somebody and they're like, that would make an interesting character. So if you hear someone be very chipper, maybe you'd like to make a chipper character, but you don't like how chipper they were. Maybe you want to make them a little more, you know, mellow, something like that.
It made me feel so much better because I thought I was a weirdo. That I was the only one that did that.
Like I'll
go places and keep looking at people.
It is weird. Like, it is weird. But it's just something to kind of get, you know, realistic characters. And
Brent has a question after you're done, honey.
Okay, I would 1 second. I would just keep creating characters as I go throughout time, like whatever. Anytime I come up with an idea, I always put it in my phone. So if I come up with a character idea or a character trait, and I already have some list of characters, I can either decide, do I want to make a new character? Do I want to add this to the character I've already made? What would, you know, and then I just keep adding it. And then I don't think it should ever end. I think you should always be adding more because for me at least, I feel like the more the better. If I have a if I have 75 characters, I can look through them and be like, well, this character would be best instead, or I think I'll try this character in here and see if it works. And you can go ahead, Brent. Yeah, go ahead.
And Dana has something to say after Brent.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody have their own way of how you want to do as much characters. My way of doing it might be different from Lakota, but I feel like I don't want to have too many characters because I want to focus on building the character and their background. So the other characters, I don't want to have them as I'll maybe have two main characters and the rest of the characters would just be like added. I don't want to put too much background story because then now I'm talking about a big budget film where I got to try to create, if I'm doing a short, I don't want to have too many scenes. My mind just want to have one main character and all the other characters in it is going to be like really short, things I'm putting in. I'm not really giving them no thought too much because I want to focus on the main character. Like later on, if you're doing a big budget, then you could have 6, 7 characters with different background stories. And, later on you can like either do an episode or a TV show with that, or you can take it any way you want. But in my experience, not my experience, this is how I feel in my opinion. You might want to start off with 1 or 2 and then build on that and then focus more on that. That way you can focus on those characters and interact and work around them, other characters around them.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's actually.
I would just say, interjecting there, I would just say, the way I'm talking about the characters is I'm not meaning I'm going to put them all in one story. I'm meaning I'm going to have them in like a backup, and so that when I do start creating a story, I can look through my list of already pre-made characters, and I don't have to go too in detail with them. Like you said, like once I put them in the story, I might be like, you know what? They like chocolate ice cream. That's something I decided just now because I feel like that adds to the story. You know what I mean? And of course, like everybody we listen to, seriously, like all the videos, they all had like, 30 things screenwriters, blah, 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 blah. And all 30 people would say something kind of different. They'd be like, well, the way I do it is like this. And the other person would be like, yeah, but I do it like this. And it was all different, but they all are working in the business and they're all creating screenplays. So there's no really right way or wrong way to do it. It's always
That's
just
actually a debate we were going to have later was what do you think is more important, character, conflict or plot? And for a lot of people, it was different things. And that was really interesting. And we wanted to get your guys' take on it.
We'll get it done later, but first, Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah. But what he meant was basically he has a list of characters and then a different list of stories. And then he'll see which characters fit best into those stories.
I just think that would be the best way for me personally. Like that's,
right.
I think that would be a cool way to go about it. But yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, he was going to finish. Go ahead.
I'll let Bertrand.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead. You can finish and then I'll go.
Yeah, real quick. I was just going to jump in. And I like that idea, what you're saying, like going to certain backgrounds and listening to other people to figure out kind of character. Like even listening to you guys in this, I already typecast a lot of you guys already with certain things I want to do. So like how Tayo was trying to figure out how do you go about doing that? Just having a conversation with people and be like, you know what? I like the way that person speak. I can make up a character with that person. Like I'm already make up a character of Collins, Loren, Brian, everybody here. I can take and put in my story. Now is a matter of what kind of story I want to write with these characters.
I'm pretty sure mine's punny.
You're actually Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm writing you as Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, that's so cute. No, I'm imagining it.
Hey, are you making fun of my weight here?
No, you're just all smudgely and lovely. No.
Okay,
I'd like to know my character description later, please.
Oh yeah, I got your character.
But
oh my, I'm scared.
You should be.
The way you said that, it made me feel like you typecasted me as a bitch or something.
Oh no, not at all.
No.
No.
But okay, what I was gonna say is like before this whole COVID crap is I would used to go to the mall and I actually got to know people at the mall because then I would just build characters from there. Sometimes I would draw characters how I would want them addressed, how I would like them, and I would actually get to know people at the mall so I can learn about them, so I can build characters from there. Like going to the mall, I go to a different store. I'll go to Calvin Klein. I'll go to, like you said, Starbucks, like to a coffee shop, Starbucks, and I'll see the different types of characters there is. And like even from like everyone I interact with, I build a character in my head, and then I draw one down, and then I just do a web from them to like explain them a little bit. And I'm gonna just, this is a trick I learned from a long time ago that I'll pass on to you guys. Get yourself a baby name book, because it's the best. A baby name book, because then you can find different names than from your life, and you can find the meaning for each name. So it's,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
I've bought several baby name books, and people think I'm crazy for doing it.
You
But
are.
it's like,
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
it's like it's full names, like it's like Damien. It means the son of the devil.
Oh, never call my son that then.
Lucifer.
What about Daniel?
Stuff like that.
It's the second. It means the second hand of God,
Okay.
or third. I'm not sure.
Priscilla means old lady, so I'm not one to talk.
But yeah, but the thing is, what I'm trying to say is like different people, like you said, different people have different traits. Like how, for an example, the barista, like how there's gonna be the boring person that hates their job. There's gonna be the happy joy person. There's gonna be the punny person named Daniel. There's always different types of people that you run into, and that's why I go in a mall. It's just like I explore the different types of characters there in there. It's better than going in a coffee shop. It's because you see like 1,000 people. Inside a coffee shop, you only see 100.
I love places where you travel. Like I was telling Coda, I actually told him this before the bunch of directors and screenwriters said this, and I was like, see, it's not just me. I'm not crazy. But I am constantly in airports because, you know, I have family in Brazil, I have family in New Zealand, I have family in the US. So I was constantly in airports. And I love places like that where you're traveling, because it's like you don't know that person's story. They could be running away from somebody. They could be starting a new life. They could be on a business meeting. They could be cheating on their wife for all we know. It's like so many interesting things that are happening. And everyone's
That's
going
what
to
I was
different
actually
stages.
about to say next is, if you want international people, then go to an airport, because then you'll learn international different people. Like even talking to you, it's like we're learning about a lot about your culture just talking to you, and we're basically learning how to build a character so it's doesn't look racist, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look, we're learning your character better so we can build around that. But going to an airport, you learn those people. Like that's why I have multiple cultural friends. It's like I learn what's right, what's wrong. I'll admit, I have wrote a script that has accidentally been racist once, not meaning to, but it's just because of stereotypes.
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately stereotypes are something that they're stereotypes for a reason. So they do happen, but it's hard because you have to find the difference between a character culture trait and a stereotype. And that takes a lot of research.
People around you, like that's what you study, like the cultures around you. Like if you're gonna write a story about a black guy, you go to different, like 3 different black people, because then you'll learn different traits from each one, and you build your own character from all 3.
And even then you won't have how all black people are, because just like all people in general, all people are different. Yeah, no matter your race, color, culture, all that.
But you see what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Like everybody, like they're all individualistic, and everyone's an individual. And
and like
no matter where they're from or what their skin color is or anything, they're gonna be different from everyone else because they're them. It's different.
They can't,
not the same as every Brazilian in Brazil.
Definitely not, especially because I grew up in the US. So like people think, oh, that's how Brazilians are. No, I grew up, I lived in the US, I lived in New Zealand. Like, a lot of my culture was formed with different cultures.
It's
So
like
I'm a
me.
mix of many things.
It's like me. I'm third generation British, but I'm basically from Vancouver, but I act more Toronto-like than Vancouver, even though I was brought up in Vancouver.
Mhm.
Thing is, people have always said I don't fit in Vancouver, and here I fit in perfectly.
I don't fit in anywhere, honey. I don't fit in Brazil. I don't fit in with Americans. I don't fit in with anybody.
All right,
Well,
guys,
you fit in with us.
you guys ready to move on? Because I think we need to, like, it's getting late.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to,
Right.
I have work tomorrow, so I'm trying to get it done too. So another thing, after I send you guys all those character sheets and everything, but anyway, sorry, there's another tip is to not trap yourself in story structure. There's a lot of the videos that we have that talk, some of them we're talking about like the 3-act structure. I don't know if any of you ever heard that, but it's like the beginning, the middle, the end, the first act, the second act, the third act. And some people are saying, like, you want the second act to be double the length of the first and third act, and the first and third act need to be half that. But there's a plenty of examples where that's not the case, and where maybe the first act will go on longer than the second and third act, or maybe the third act's the longest part. It just depends on the writing and the story. So don't trap yourself in a cage thinking about that, because like, especially if you go to school, I've heard a lot of people say that certain instructors for screenwriting especially will say, oh, well, you have 30 pages in the first act and you need to have 38, or you need to have whatever amount of minutes because your first act's too short or too long. And sometimes they're right. Sometimes it makes sense to do it that way, but other times it's like, well, that's not the way my story flows, and if I just try to add in random pages of information, it's not going to work. So
Brent, are you trying to say something, or just giving a thumbs up?
Yeah, I was trying to say, like, interject what Lakota was saying. Like, sometimes you look at a story and it's like, yo, it's dragging in the beginning, and it's like, oh my god, like, it's too long before it gets to the punchline in the middle, and then you're like, oh yeah, you start getting engaged in the movie. But it's like, sometimes it's best to like start off immediately. Maybe instead of 38 pages, you start with like 25, and that might give you the juice to pull the audience in, and then you start hitting them with the long in the middle. So it all depends on how you want to pull the audience, to me, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
Sarah said she has some other work she needs to get done. She needs to get going. Oh, sorry, Sarah. We'll send you the rest of the recording, okay?
Well, how long is this gonna go for tonight?
I mean, I have let me see.
We're trying not to finish too late since Coda has work tomorrow as well,
I just have 3 more tips I was going to go over, and then
Yeah, and then
List
whoever
them really
wanted
quick,
to
'cause I
stay
actually have to
and
go soon, like right now.
I'm trying to go
Just
soon too.
rapid
Seriously,
fire.
like I need to get because I still have to. This thing's gonna be a huge, massive file for the recording, so I need to get this in there and edit it and everything before I go to sleep. So I'm trying to get
Oh,
that.
Colin needs to go?
Yeah, I have to go like now.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
probably
sorry,
okay.
Colin.
like do something with him. So
All right, Colin. Well,
We'll
around
try
it's
to
around
separate
3.5
them.
hours, 3:15. So
Try to sell us stuff to you, maybe
Yeah.
We're
like
gonna try to cut it down.
Uh,
We're gonna watch it and try to cut it down.
like
okay.
30 minutes.
See you guys.
All right,
yeah, yeah,
Bye.
30 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
All right, sorry. What
So
were you
yeah,
saying,
so
Brent?
like you were saying, like it depends on your story, how your storytelling is. You might want to have some people might have a longer first act because they have a lot of information to tell, and that's not always bad. Sometimes it works. It just depends on what your screenplay is and your story. But
I feel like a good example of that would be like those movies where they start in the middle, right? Where they start with like a scene in the middle and then they go and they try to
yeah,
build.
there are some films like that. It's kind of rare, but it does. Like, there's no real rules. It's just kind of like a foundation. The first,
whatever
second, third
works.
act is kind of the foundation, and then you just go on from there.
Yeah, it's whatever works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Right. It's like James was saying the other week when we were talking to him about something like this. He was saying you first kind of need to learn the rules so that you can know when and how to break them. instead of just
Bend
going
them,
off.
not break them, bend them.
Bend them, break them. If you
No.
want to break them,
Breaking
maybe
is no
you can.
good.
I
Bend
don't
it.
think you can break the first, second, and third act, because that's, obviously it's never gonna be any different. But you get what I'm saying.
I mean, I joke with Coda that the first Lord of the Rings movie, The Fellowship, is basically just a huge first act, and I love that trilogy. It's my favorite trilogy of all time. But I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I can't get into it because it's way too slow in the beginning, and because they're building up the world and they're building up the characters. And I get that, because there are some scenes that tend to drag a little bit. If you're not invested right away, you kind of like, okay, come on, when's the adventure gonna start,
Right.
Yeah, like Brent was saying earlier.
And Priscilla, you mentioned Lord of the Rings one more time, and we're gonna mute you.
I'm sorry.
We can find another movie.
That's one of my favorites too. I feel you.
Oh, snap. Woo!
I love it.
So many things.
I love that movie as well too. And to me, that's why I say what Lakota was saying, certain movies you can get engaged with a certain TV shows automatically, and some of them you're just like, all right, let me watch it. And after the first 20 minutes, you're like, oh, it's taking too long. But then if you're kind of like a
thank you,
sci-fi
thank you.
graphic type of person, then you automatically want to be engaged, regardless if it take an hour before the punchline. You're
yeah, like a recent movie that I've seen that's that me and Priscilla both saw, Tenet. It was I overall I like it. It's a good movie, but
it took forever to start.
The beginning did drag on, and so that's kind of like what we're saying.
It dragged on a lot. It was meeting after meeting, dialogue after dialogue, and we didn't even we had to pause a bunch of times to be like, wait, what's happening? What? Who's this person?
I was all enthralled in it. I did some research, but I liked it from start.
I liked it a lot. I just thought the beginning was a little confusing, and
it was kind of all over the place at the start. That's all we're meaning. And
but I love him, and as a director,
this person to go here, to go there, to do that. And it's just
I was caught up. I knew what was going on.
We knew what was going on.
No, we knew what was going on. We were just like, okay, another dialogue, another person. Where is this guy going? Like, that's what we were trying to be like. Okay, who else do we need to talk to? Wait, what? Another person? That's
all right. Let's go ahead and move on.
But Brent, I will tell you this. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that didn't see it yet. But that theory that they were talking about the sun and stuff. I guessed that before I knew about it. Like, as soon as I saw that person, I was like, oop, I know who that is.
Yep.
I bet that person's,
Honey.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
It's late.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
What's the name of the movie?
Tenet.
It's Ten and Tiny.
Oh.
Yep, Tenet.
Like somebody lives in your building.
Is it Tenant? We've been having this debate for weeks.
I don't know.
They say Tenant, honey. It's Tenant.
Tenet.
T-E-A-N.
No, it's T-E-N-E-T. There you go.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought it was spelled like at first.
Yeah. All right. So
movie?
the next tip that we saw was when you are screenwriting, especially all of us just starting out, there are going to be a lot of drafts and a lot of rewrites are going to happen to get your work where it should be. Like when you first write a draft, almost all the screenwriters were saying, yeah, when I first write a draft, it's never good. I have to go back through and say, oh, well, this character said this dialogue, it's clunky, or this action doesn't work here, or this is too slow, or noticing the acts and all of that. Maybe they'll notice, oh, this is really boring right now. I need to speed this up somehow. How can I do that? So don't be discouraged if you feel like you wrote something and then it's not what you thought it would be when you were first thinking of it in your head. Like you might have a really great idea. You might have some really cool characters, but it's probably going to take a lot of going back and readjusting things and just tweaking them a bit to get them all right.
And rewriting will just create more layers and more things to your character, to your story. It will just thicken it out even more. So it's a good thing. Rewriting is a good thing.
Right. And then the next tip kind of goes on that. is, you know, try not to get, we already talked about it a little bit, but try not to get defensive when you're given notes or feedback. There was a production
She used to
executive
work for ABC.
who worked for ABC. She said, like, a lot of the times when they bring in somebody for their script, they're like, we like your script. We just have a few notes here. Right here, we feel like this, something. And then right away, sometimes the screenwriter will be like, well, I don't know. I don't think you get it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get what you're trying to say. And they're like already throwing up that defensive wall, and they're already like, no, I'm not going to listen. You don't get it. This is my masterpiece. I know what I'm talking about. And you really don't want to do that. You want to be more open, especially since in this course, in this group, we're going to be trying to give each other constructive feedback. And sometimes it's going to be a little more critical than other things. It depends on how the writing is. Is there too many transitions? Maybe we'll say that. Is the character not as good as they could be? Maybe we'll.
Like I said last week,
You know,
it's
it depends
natural. It's
There's
human
also
nature
an
to be
add to that
defensive.
rule.
What was that?
There's also an add to this rule to this
Yeah.
generation now. Don't put any bad feedback on social networks. Because I've worked with many people like that on like a lot of TV shows. They put a lot of bad feedback on social networks, attacking shows they've worked on, attacking stuff, and they blacklist themselves from film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same actors are doing that too, and it's just like you don't want.
That's what I mean. It's like
as an
true
actor,
talent.
Like we said, it's natural for you to be defensive about something you love, something you've poured your heart and soul into. But you need to not take it personally and see that that person wants to help you make it better. That person is working with you to help make the best script it can possibly be, help it reach its full potential. That is you're working on this together. It's a collaborative effort. They are not trying to ruin you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not trying to change your whole story. They're just trying to help it flow better and be better. And Brian, you're falling asleep. Sorry. We're going to go ahead. This thing is the last tip. I'm going to say the last tip.
Oh, one more thing, honey, before we continue.
Yeah.
One thing that she said, all we're looking for is, okay, I'll take a look at it. And just try to understand why they didn't get it, or ask questions, or try to expand upon those notes. Just see, okay, why did she not get it? What can I do with these notes? Maybe there is something here I can use, and expand upon that. Because they said, all we need is, okay, I'll look into it. That's all we're asking for. You don't even need to change that much, but at the end of the day, just showing that you're receptive to it really helps.
Yeah, that was actually my last note, was expanding upon the notes and just like looking into it. Why didn't they get it? I was trying to say that the character was angry right here. Why did they think that they weren't? Why were they saying that him killing this person comes out of nowhere? I thought I was building that up. You need to look into it and see, maybe they didn't get it. That's very rare, but maybe they just didn't get it. But most likely it's in your script somewhere. You need to adjust some things to make it a little more clear, or make more sense to lead up to that point. Because if they didn't get it and they're reading it and they're trying to understand it, and they have you in there because they like the script, then they're just trying to improve it. And if they're not getting it, then there's something wrong, and you need to, most likely it's something in the script that needs to be adjusted to make it flow better, or make it make more sense. And with that said, that's everything that we had.
Oh,
I'm really sorry.
honey, there was also the last question, remember?
What? No,
The question.
I feel like we need to leave that for another time, honey. It's way too late.
You think we should? Yeah, we should probably leave it.
Way too
I just checked the time.
I have one thing to say, if you'll let me.
Oh,
I hear y'all keep talking about following the rules. And have you ever heard the old adage, rules are made to be broken? How can you create and innovate if you kind of just go against or the opposite of some standard, or do it the way you think it is? And maybe you'll come up with something different.
Oh my, that reminded me of a tip
Yeah, like
we
I
just
said, like
put.
it's not set in stone. It's not, these aren't hard set rules. Sometimes you can go against it. We're just from all the screenwriters, they were all kind of saying generally the same thing. And another
These
thing
were the
we were
best
saying is
things.
like, to be able to bend those rules first you need to know them. You know what I mean? Like you need to know before you can do it. You need to know
Foundation first.
how far you can push, how far you can bend it. What are you bending? You need to know, like, you know, the foundation to start off from to be able to change it and make something new.
Honey, that actually reminded me of one last thing. One note that we didn't add, just really quick. Dang it, I saw your face. Just give me a minute. I'll be quick. Was when one of the screenwriters that we were watching the interview of, he was saying that thousands of people email him a day with film scripts, with show scripts, with all those kinds of things. And he says that barely any of them, like it almost never happens. They never show why they went to him and what makes their script stand out. They're just like, oh, here's my script, please read it. They need to understand that there are thousands of people that have scripts in Hollywood that want to be shown. There are thousands of people that think they have a good story, but you need to learn how to market your story, how to fight for your story.
What
like,
makes it different than everyone else's?
Yeah, email
him. What makes you unique? Like, what makes this story? What makes it work with the producer you're trying to sell it to? Why you want to like research maybe the producer? Oh, I saw you made Breaking Bad, and my show kind of goes along with that. See, my characters like this and that, and you want to like explain why you feel like it's a good fit instead of just being like, here's my script.
You gotta look for the right type of producer.
And show that you've done your homework too.
You gotta look for what type of producer there is. Like there's horror producers, there's tragedies, there's sadness, there's romantic producers. You gotta look for which one suits you the best.
Yeah, and he says like they send me emails every day, but they don't tell me, hey, so and so, because you did this, I think you would really like this, or my story is different because of this. No, they just send them an email and like, look at it. Do you know how many thousands of people do that? You need to stand out. You need to look for the right person, like Daniel said. You need to do your homework. You need to show your passion, show what makes it unique, what makes it stand out. And like Brian said, break convention a little bit. If everyone's making this, try make it different. Oh, one last thing. Make multiple scripts. It's that 5 script rule, honey. That 6 script rule.
6 script rule. Oh yeah, they said don't stop.
That is really important.
Even if you feel like you have the best script ever, if you want to be a script writer, if you want to be in the business as a screenwriter, script writer, whatever you want to call it, you want to continue making new things so that while maybe you got the contact of the producer, maybe they said, yeah, we like your script, we're going to look into it. And instead of waiting around a week and for them to respond again, you start working on your next project. You start getting more work under your belt. That way, whenever they say, maybe they go, oh, we like this, but do you have anything else? You can be like, yeah, actually, I have 3 other scripts, and show them your other work. It's not just like you're set on this one thing, and if it doesn't work out, then you're screwed. It's more like this one thing's really good, and I believe it's going to take off. But while I'm waiting for it to take off, I also have this, I also have that. I'm also trying to do this TV show series. I'm also trying to do this movie.
And don't be discouraged if it doesn't either, because you will have 6 scripts and the majority of them will either flop, some will fizzle out, some will have like a really high and then just plummet down. But constantly keep working. Don't wait on that magical break that'll finally recognize you, that'll finally hear. Keep working at it, keep sending scripts. Don't be like, oh, he was saying, people who produce managers for these screenwriters, they say that they only hire people who do this, because they only work with people who do this, because they see that they have potential, that they have passion, that they have drive. Because there are a ton of people that are working on a TV show that are like, oh, I'm already working on a TV show, I don't need to continue writing, or I don't have time to continue writing. And those people fizzle out because they don't continue fighting for it. Brent has a question. Sorry, Brent, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question to Lauren, Lauren, so basically, if you're writing a script and you sell the script and someone buys your script, and the movie does well with your script, do you get a kickback for? I know they're gonna put you in the credits of the original writer, but say the movie, does really well, do you get a kickback off of that? Because once you sell the script, that's it. You give all rights to them, and if they make money, that's on them.
Okay, so yes, I have sold a script. It was more for a music video. It wasn't really like a short or anything like that. They did give me credit, and because I wasn't really part of the production, like after I sold it, I chose not to be because of COVID. The filmmaker that the singer worked with and the singer I guess had like final say. It was more just like what it felt like is I made like a package with like all the production design and then the script eventually, and then I gave it to them and sold it to them, and then like they had like they were free to do whatever they wanted to with it.
Okay,
Kind
but
of. Is that kind of
Did they change a lot of it?
kind of funny story. So there's two characters in this music video, and like they completely switch like the what I had originally wrote, but like that's like fine. I expected that.
So moving forward in the future, like, all right, that was a music video, but and maybe somebody else can answer this as well too. So like, say you write a script, and because that the whole thing too with writing scripts and being very cautious and letting other people read it, because that's how I know a lot of the industry bigwigs, they'll be stealing people's scripts and they don't even know they got it stole just because you were like, hey, I know you're good. Can you review, look at my script and see if it's
Register your script. That was another tip they gave you. As soon as you can.
A website, WGA. It's the Writers Guild of America.
You do not have to be a member to register your script. You can register it there.
What?
WGA. They said that you can register your script on there, and I think they said it was only like $20.
And you don't even have to be a member. You can just pay it and register.
It has like more copyright claim basically, because you'll have it registered and you'll say, look, at this year, if someone else makes your movie, and it's like, at this year and this time I registered with the WGA, here's my script, and they'll go, oh yeah, and you'll have a case instead of just being like,
you have a case, you got money for a lawyer.
Yes,
like DreamWorks, I put out a script and it went out with DreamWorks, and they basically wrote me out of the out of credits. Like I didn't get a credit, but I got a check in the mail.
But was that legal? Like, how did that work? Was it your contract that basically stated that you didn't need to be in the credits?
No, because technically it was a fan script. Like it was just a fan script that got given to them. So I didn't know about that until it was too late. I didn't copyright the script. I didn't do anything. So it was I just wrote it for fun.
So someone gave out your script?
I gave it to someone to read, and they gave it to DreamWorks, and DreamWorks put it out.
But this is what I'm talking about. But they just gave you a courtesy check, basically.
Yeah, they gave me a check to shut up early.
Yeah.
And I got a copy of the movie and everything. But still,
I read that the Library of Congress is another place that you can register it. It's $35.
Yeah, but hearing I didn't think anything of it. I was just writing for fans, just because I was a fan of the series. I just wrote it for fun, and then all of a sudden I lent it to a friend to read. He loved it, so he passed it to DreamWorks, and that was.
And they took advantage of that.
There should be a rule if you let your friend read a script, you sign a note or something saying you can't show anybody.
Yeah,
for a legal document to be legal.
Disclosure agreement.
But to be honest, I didn't think it was good enough to put out in the theaters.
But the idea, sometimes it's not even your content. It might change around the content, just like what Lorraine was saying, how they change around the characters.
Yeah, that's what they did with mine.
The story itself was like, oh, I like this story. I can tweak it, but I don't have to do the work because the story is here. I just got to change characters the way I want it.
Like
for it to be a legal document, all you really need is the signature of both people. I'm pretty sure. Like it's very easy to make something a legally binding document. You can Google it and see what you can do, even if you don't think that it'll go anywhere.
It depends on how distinct it is, though, too.
But it was a fan film. That's the thing. It's like if it's like I just thought it was a fanfic, and then it was put into a real thing. I didn't go put anything legal down because I'm like, I didn't think about it. I didn't
Well, now
Well,
you
now you know.
now you know.
like
You
if
need to
I
start
knew
thinking about these
that
things.
DreamWorks would like my project that much, I would have just like I would have copyrighted it. I would have done a lot more
Right.
for it. But
So
I
if
just
value your
The
work from
takeaway
now
from
on,
that is
everything.
just everybody who think, if you guys think you have a good script and you're starting
And
to
even
write
if you
it out,
don't, even if you don't,
once you're
copyright.
Give it
finished
to
with it,
Lakota and
register
Priscilla to
it.
read.
That's it. What?
I said, even if you have a good script, don't give it to Lakota and Priscilla to read. I'm joking. I'm joking.
All right.
He doesn't even trust us.
You should trust no one. You should trust no one with your script.
Very true. But that's what I'm saying.
But with
Even
the
if
short
you
film
don't
scripts,
think
I'm
it'll go
hoping that we
anywhere.
can, we're gonna share them and
again,
critique them.
but sometimes that like I've seen directors, I've seen people take scripts offline and actually use them in person. I'm like, that's someone else's work. And it's like it's on the web for free. I'm like, I'm not working on with you if you're stealing work like that.
Even if you don't pay for it, just save it. Like take screenshots, show the date that you were working on
Listen,
it,
you
that kind
gotta
of
be a
thing.
real movie guru to pay attention. This is when somebody steal your script and put it out there, because you will have no idea. Because you be like,
Yeah. I had no idea that DreamWorks even had my script until I got a check in the mail.
see, I gave you hush money in case you try to even do anything. I would have sent the check back and got my lawyer.
Like I basically technically, because I had no proof, that was my only copy of that.
Right.
Even the fact I got a check.
Exactly.
Sorry?
Don't cash the check.
Exactly.
The thing is, like, I had no proof of that script being mine. If I basically, that would be a waste of like a check.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
keep
no
the money
like,
if you
there
don't
would
have
be no
proof.
case there. They would definitely win because he hadn't registered it and stuff. And so, like he said, that's his only script. There was no way he could, even if he didn't cash the check.
I
It would
could have
just be like,
easily.
there's no way to get them to put you in the credits or anything because
And what they could have done is leaked the script online and said it was leaked. That's how he got it.
Right. Yeah.
I always say, man,
that's what happened with Wally.
I know. I always say with any script you guys write in, and this is my opinion, it don't matter. Some people, it's very competitive out here, but once you love what you're doing and you put your heart into it and give it your best, it doesn't matter if it don't do well the first time. Because the more you practice, the more you keep writing. By the time 5-10 years, you done wrote so many scripts, one of them gonna come through the cracks. And then when you become like well known, or maybe even you get an opportunity, you have so many work from behind that you could just pull forward. Just like what Lakota was saying, you got like 75 characters. If I wrote like 30 scripts in my lifetime, that's one made it. Now I got 29 that I can use, to bring to life because people like my 30th script that I wrote. You know what I mean?
And that's another positive to the 6 script rule is that they say even you'll never get burnt out. You'll always be writing, so you'll keep that passion alive, even if it's not happening immediately. Like this writer, he gave the example. He was writing for 6 years and still had nothing. He was getting like some parts here and there because he was also an actor, but he wanted to write. He wanted to have something that was his. And he decided to write every single day and to have multiple scripts ready and everything and send them out constantly. And it wasn't like magical, like, 6 months later, I was,
like years.
They bought my script. It was
right.
3
Yeah. No,
years
it was
later.
years.
Yeah, it was 3 years later. So, but he still kept writing every single day, and that kept the passion alive.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this.
Oh, does anyone have any closing
Well,
statements?
before we do
last
that,
things you wanna say?
I'm going to go over next week's stuff, and then I'm going to stop the recording. And then if anyone has any closing remarks after that, we can do that. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Next week, this weekend, and into next week, we're going to be on week 3 in the syllabuses. In the production side, we're going to be learning, the different producers. We already learned it a little bit, but just go delve deeper into that. The different producers and what they do. A deeper dive into production in general, like what goes into it. Set protocol, like how to act on set, how to behave. And on Monday, we plan to have a brainstorming session where we're going to kind of try to get ideas off each other as we're building up what could happen in a scene maybe, or what could happen in a thing, so we can get some ideas when we start writing our short films, which don't.
Like Brent said, though, I know it's scary for us to share ideas. Sorry, honey, I just thought I need to say this.
Yeah.
I know it's scary for us to share our ideas and like the fear of someone but like at the end of the day, the only way we're going to get better, the only way we're going to grow in our ideas and in our writing and in everything is to work together, is to bounce ideas off each other, so we can't be afraid like, oh my gosh, this person's going to steal my idea. Oh, this person. We have to have that mutual trust and that mutual respect to where we can be like, okay, I like, you don't have to give your best idea, but like, just be able to trust that, okay, this person's going to make me better. This repertoire is going to make me better. I might lose an idea here or there, but I'm working on something and I'm working towards something. Just keep that in mind, because I know it can be scary and I know it can be hard sharing your ideas with others, and very vulnerable too.
Yeah, it's definitely scary to hear feedback that you don't really want to hear, but you know you need to. And it's also like everyone's saying, it's scary to put out a work that you feel is good because you're not sure if these people are going to take it and make it their own and make a new movie out of it. But that's why with these, at least for these first ones, these first short film scripts that we're going to be writing, it's just for practice. It's just for getting.
You should have a contract. You should have a contract for everyone, just like saying no one's allowed to take anyone's ideas. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Like
Make a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should do that.
I think
Yeah,
so
I
too.
feel like that's a good idea.
I feel
Because
that's
even
a
though
good
we
idea.
working on, like, you know, like I want to do, like, my plan is to actually try to produce a couple of shorts by June, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do it, but I know it's gonna get done. You know, I have an idea. I mean, I have talented people in this group that's gonna be able to help me get it done, but it's just sometimes I realize when you speak things in existence and you work at it, it's gonna happen. Like, I'm just saying,
Amen to
my
that.
shooting date is gonna be in June or July, right? I'm setting a date. So now I'm trying to write, trying to get ideas, trying to write a script, and then after that, get the characters, start building the team, getting cameras and all of that, saving up money for a budget for, you know, some people I can pay, some people I can't. I might be able to pay a good sound guy, but I might not be able to pay my DP, or, you know, offer them food and transportation, but that's about it. You
Yeah,
know?
I would say if you're going to offer anything, offer everyone kind of the same thing, because you can't really decide who's more important on a set, because especially if it's going to be like some volunteers. I've just heard that it makes it a huge conflict if you're going to pay your camera operator, but you're not going to pay your sound.
Basically, just DM people is what we're saying.
Either pay them all the same or just offer them the food and stuff like you said. Like,
Or just like
Yeah,
offer
but also
everybody
DM
food.
them.
but
so
try to
people
make
don't
it fair
forget.
if you can, especially for a lower budget. Everyone kind of should know that it's a lower budget feature, or it's a lower budget short film. So it's not going to be $1 million on the budget. It's going to be, something really small.
The word you're looking for is honorarium.
What was
Like,
that?
the word you're looking for is honorarium. Like, people that don't say it's pay, say it's honorarium. I can't pronounce the word properly, but honorarium is basically just a small amount of money that just for the project. It's not paid, but it's something to donate towards.
Can it just be like a volunteer group work too? Like, I'm sure me and Kodak would love to like plan a date, drive down to New York and meet you and work on something.
Well, yeah, there can definitely be volunteers. I was just saying, if it's going to be any pay, like he said, like the word, like whatever the word is, you just pay them all a little bit,
Right.
or you just
I
say, hey
understand
guys, I can't offer pay, but you'll get.
I can offer you a pie.
You have your name in the credits. We'll all pay for the food and the transportation and whatever, blah 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 blah.
And one of Brent's magic pies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bring your pies. Let everyone be happy with that. They got a few slices of pie for free.
Yeah, you're paying us with pies. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go ahead and so let's see, what was I saying? So that's in the production. In the screenwriting, we're going to be looking into ideation and conceptualization, which is like coming up with ideas, coming up with concepts. And world building. If it's just, depending on what you're trying to make, you're gonna have to do a lot of world building. Like fantasy or sci-fi have to have a lot of world building, but other things that are just in everyday life for everyone, maybe you won't need as much, but everything needs to have, you need to know what's going on in the world. What are the rules of this place? Is it home? Is it outer space? What's going on and all that. So we're gonna be learning about world building. And at the around like in the middle of next week, we can start, after we have our first group meeting, I want to start, everybody can start writing their first drafts with one of their ideas. Either they can take it from the brainstorming session we had in the first meeting, or they can have a little brainstorming session by themselves or with another person or something and come up with an idea. Or if you already have an idea, we're going to start writing out
one brainstorm session before the final before the scripts come out and stuff, like have just a group just talking about like ideas bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, that's what
so
we're
like,
talking about doing.
So
next week.
Monday we're going to do the brainstorming session, and then after that, people can decide if they want to start writing their script yet. But we're going to start writing next week. So after Monday, I would say, like we said, so we get that brainstorming. At least it starts creating some ideas flowing in your guys' heads.
Brent, you're trying to say something?
Oh, no, I'm saying I'm agreeing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just to try to keep it like a short film, we want it to be around 3 to 10 pages long. So once we start writing it, we'll say this again next week, but 3 to 10 minutes should be around the time you want to do. You don't want to have like 20 to 40 minutes, especially because if we're all helping you by reading it, we don't have enough time to read 20 different scripts that are 40 pages long. You want to make it really short. And that's going to be another challenge for making a captivating story that's 3 to 10 minutes. So, but that's just something we need to do with these short scripts. And that's going to be the start of the first one. And then in terminology, for whoever didn't or whoever wants to, we're finishing up script terminology. Whatever you missed this week, you can go ahead and look into it this weekend and next week. And that's pretty much all we're going through.
Like I said, so I really, really, really recommend you guys watch those videos, like the how to make a better script or 10 ways to write a character. They're so good. They're long, and you can like speed up the YouTube play speed, but they are so worth it. You have different perspectives from people who have done everything you can imagine. There's even the dude that made Sharknado in there, and I really wanted to know how he made that work. So
that's awesome. Sharknado. Yeah, I heard the joke that like, somebody sat in a room and they're just like, let's make a film about sharks in a tornado.
I know,
Yeah,
and he got that made.
amazing.
So I want to know his secret.
That's why everybody was saying there's no bad ideas. It's just maybe your script doesn't work the way it is right then. I'm sure Sharknado probably went through a bunch of rewrites before they got it to be, filmable. But it was still, it's a ridiculous idea. And everyone can admit that.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous idea. But
Actually, I'm really looking forward to writing some
Oh, yeah, Brent, it's in the syllabus. I can send you the link of one of the videos if you'd like, and you can go from there if you're having trouble finding it in the syllabus. Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you. Can I send it tomorrow since it's like super late? And yeah, I'll set a reminder. Don't worry.
When does the scripts need to be written? When are we reading them?
The what?
So you're talking about writing a script?
Writing the script.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I wanted to start the first draft next week after Monday's session. And then, let me check. We were going to read the first drafts the following Monday. We were going to read the first drafts of some of the ones we came up with. For whoever is feeling good enough about it to have it be read. If you don't want it to be read, that's fine. If it's not ready, that's fine. But that's when we're going to start reading each other's scripts and giving some feedback on Monday. That would be Monday the 25th is when we would start reading the scripts.
How many pages does it have to be?
3 to 10 is what we would like the range to be, so that it's equivalent to sort of like 3 to 10 minutes. So nothing over 10 if you guys can help it, because that
would not be a problem for me.
That's another thing that you have to learn how to be like succinct with some of your stuff and cut some stuff out and get more to the point. So especially with short films, if they drag on for too long, like you were saying, no one's going to stick around to watch it. I know some short films are like 20 to 30 minutes, but sometimes you have, let's say we're a producer executive and we're saying, you know what, we need a 10-minute short film from you, Brent. We like what
Not
you've
a
made.
problem.
We like what you made, but we need it to be 10 pages. So can you come up with something like that for us? And then you're going to have to figure out how to work with that.
Right. Because if you think some of the movies, they be cutting out so much scenes, and you'd be like, so many hours they be cutting out, sometimes a whole hour of just cutting out scenes, and you're like, all that writing that sometimes you could be in a movie and they cut you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had a good 30-minute scene and they just cut you out.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just up to whoever's the director, just deciding, hey, this doesn't really work with the rest of the story. It kind of cuts away from the rest. Like if there's a character that's kind of random, they might just be like, sorry, but it just doesn't work. No.
Yeah,
And it's pretty crazy because it goes all the way to that point. Like they filmed it, everything. But then when they get into the editing room, they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And it's just how it is. So a lot of stuff's going to get cut from, if you ever sell a screenplay like Lorena did to just the music video, it was filmed, and I'm sure they changed some stuff before they filmed it. And then when they edited it, I'm sure they changed even more. And that's why it's so different what she gave them. And
I sent
so
you
you just have
some.
to get used to that, like that it's not going to come off exactly from the script to the screen. It's not going to be exactly how you wrote it. But yeah, so Monday the 25th, we're going to start reading each other's scripts. Next Monday, the 18th, is when we're going to start writing and getting into it. So that's everything for next week. Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording though.
And you don't have to take all the tips, Brent. Remember, there are some in there that have different styles. Just take the ones that work for you.
Right there.